Welcome back to Amy Stadium. Big game for both clubs. The Saints just 6 points from their opening 4 games. And of course the Crows just 1 win from their opening 4. A big game for both clubs tonight. St Kilda's record at Amy Stadium, not great. They've lost 5 of their last 7 appearances here. So a big night for the Saints. And it's going to be an absolute beauty. And there's Jack Stephen, who will be starting on the bench. As we look at the sports bet odds, that was the odds. They were the odds at the start of the week. St Kilda 216, the Crows 170. But money for St Kilda during the week has seen them come into 206, the Crows at 180. Let's get down to the boundary line, and Corey Wingard covering all the action from the boundary tonight. Corey.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, there was 6 mils of rain in Adelaide this afternoon, but the conditions are really ideal for footy tonight. I spoke to the ground staff earlier. They told me the band of rain that's coming through will miss Amy Stadium, so conditions are sensational, as we pointed out. Not a breath of wind tonight, so the current temperature is 16, expected to get down to 13. That shower or two should miss us here at Amy Stadium, if my mail is correct. Now, because it is no wind around, there are a few moths around tonight, Chris. So sucking in the big ones could be a little bit dangerous tonight. And the Saints, a couple of debutants there. Will Johnson, of course, making his debut tonight. Big things expected of him, probably by his family. His middle name is Captain. Will Captain Johnson, will he take the reins? We'll have to wait and see.
Good on you, Corey. Thanks very much for that. There's Patrick Dangerfield, such a key player in this Adelaide team. And there in the crowd are the parents of Will Johnson. There's Renee and Trudy Johnson, and just to the left, the Cripps family as well, Lisa and John Cripps, who will be watching their son play for the first time this evening. So a proud couple of families there, Rob, with the 2 debutants playing for the Saints.
Well, it's a great thrill, isn't it, when your son gets his first game of AFL football? No doubt about that. Something they will never, ever forget. Gee, there's a lot of young players out there tonight.
Nathan, you're right.
So big night for Adelaide and St Kilda. There's Davis with the challenge on Revolt. There's Will Johnson wearing number 38. Blake recast into defence again. He's playing on Taylor Walker. That'll be a tough matchup as well. There's plenty of hustle and bustle inside the Adelaide forward line as we're underway with Saturday night footy from Amy Stadium. Jacobs up to get the initial tap, and Clint Jones straight into the thick of it. The wrestle and bragging rights to give the ball back to the umpire. Scott Thompson wins it. There's
Gee,
man gone down already.
What's happened there?
Chris Knight's in trouble.
Clinton Jones, high contact. Clinton Jones, high contact. Back here. It's called not continuous, not continuous. Adam, back here.
Neil Craig certainly made a statement during the week, didn't he? Dropping Bernie Vince.
Stay out, play on.
See how the Crows respond to that. Here's Del Santo guiding it in the Revolt direction. There was 2 or 3 Crows there. Got through to Stephen, then back out to Revolt. Would have been a big boost to be able to snack on that and put it through for a goal, but unfortunately it's just a behind to Revolt. Here's what happened to Chris Knights.
Andrew.
Zach.
Well,
Adam, no closer.
Zach tends to do a bit of that silly stuff. And one day he'll wake up to himself.
So the Crows now get it into the centre square. At ground level, a chance for Tambling. Oh, he had to take the first option. He eventually got it out to Walker, who hurriedly kicks it towards half-forward. Dempster and Dangerfield. Dangerfield did brilliantly. Got it 55. Gee, the Crows look dangerous. Oh, gee, the handball wasn't great. Coming yours. And the Saints are able to clear wide to the boundary line. Opportunity for Fisher. And his left foot kick to the wing. Not well directed. And getting across. Good play from Dowdy, twisting it away from the St Kilda opponent in Revolt.
And Davis would appreciate that. That a teammate just helped him there when Revolt beat him on the lead. Only played 18 senior games as young Davis.
Both sides keeping a relative forward structure intact from this stoppage.
Doesn't have the ball.
Oh, now what's the call here? Steve McBurney?
No, nothing there.
No 50. Nothing more to it. Just the holding
your free kick
against Snyder.
Gilbert playing in defence for St Kilda. Thought he might have gone forward tonight. Still may.
A few demanding leads. One from Doughty. And eventually that's the way it goes. So just the one behind so far in the opening couple of minutes. Not much movement for him either in front or behind or sideways. He decides to retreat back to Tambling. So the Saints have got them locked down pretty well here. There are a couple of Crows on the outer side for Rutten to choose from. And he makes his choice. And it's Thompson that takes it away. Impressive, as we've said in the last few weeks. Almost the tumbling mark out there from Martin. Quick kick into the 50. The Crows away again. Walker, long kick across the face. And it's through for a behind.
Ooh.
Well, Richard Tambling will have a case to answer early next week.
And the umpire said there was nothing in that. We heard him actually say that there was nothing in that to Adam Schneider. Might be good evidence for him, but it mightn't help.
So, Santo from fullback into the pocket. Taken by Goddard. This will suit Adelaide. They've got a full press, full zone, as you can see. So he just needs to go long along the line. He got it. He does. Well done, Dowdy again, getting over the top. And Schneider fisting it over for another boundary throw-in. So well played by the Crows. They keep it in their forward half.
Well, Dowdy's two aggressive spoils. They're not possessions, but they're effective and they're aggressive. That's the good thing early in the game.
So Jacobs gets it down, taken by Goddard. Couldn't quite get a clear possession away. Riley was tough at the contest. Good tackle by Schneider. Bounce between wing and half forward for the Crows. There's the matchup. Davis and Revolt.
Thanks, mate.
Big job for Davis. So Jacobs versus McAvoy. Well done by Jacobs. Got the second tap. Montagna did brilliantly to get it to Graham. Looping handball. Coming up. Dowdy again was strong. Oh, gee, perhaps could have got a free kick. Not paid. Chance now for Del Santo. The Crows fighting hard. Dowdy with another opportunity. Again, well tackled. And a bounce on centre wing.
Interesting, Chriso. The Saints have started James Gwilt across the half-forward line.
So he's the one they've made a change with, Rob, to try and give them something up forward.
Yep. And we know he can take a mark. His early games, he did play forward.
Now something more off the ball.
Your free kick here, Nick. Straight to him.
Plenty
Straight
going on at these stoppages, isn't there? So free kick paid against Graham that time. And the Crows over-possess a little bit, but eventually Dowdy takes it out wide. And Smith kicks it fairly ill-directed, but it's able to bobble through right, got a little hand to it. And then Knights with the up and under. Tough one to try and hang on to in the pocket. And Symes wasn't able to, and we'll have a throw in. In fact, it's Henderson down there. So it is a bit greasy, even though it's beautiful conditions. At the moment, there was a bit of rain around during the first part of today.
Tippett gets it down. Chance for Scott Thompson. Can't gather. Well done. Jones has got it now for St Kilda. Graham, good little give to Fisher. And now they're all the way through Blake. Loops it over the top. Gwilt at half-back. Not much to kick to, so they have to run it through Blake. Short kick to Milne. Fisted away. Well played by Yench. Now an opportunity on the wing for the Crows. They've got the numbers. Can they gather the footy? Handball inside. But a chance for Schneider. Now the handball goes wide to Jones. Loops it back to Graham. This is better from St Kilda. Over the top. Now a chance for McQualter. Oh, gee, set Gwilt a task. And it was a delayed whistle because he went down holding his head. The umpire wasn't going to pay that.
Wait. I've reacted late, but I've got the high contact in the end. Time back off. Clear out.
So, free kick for Gwilt. He drives it inside attacking 50. Johnson with an opportunity. Fisted away decisively by Davis. Is it over? Eventually it is, as Armitage tried to keep it in, but a boundary throw-in 50 metres around from the St Kilda goal. Bit unlucky there, John Cock, with Gwilt slipping at the inopportune time.
There didn't appear to be a lot in it. Jacobs and McAvoy. No room to move in there. Del Santo. There's a little bit of a shove.
Dangerfield's free kick.
And it is Dangerfield who takes the free. Sensational for a lot of last week. Leads the inside 50s for the Adelaide Crows. Such an important prime mover in their setup. Under pressure is Martin, forced a handball. Gee, they're really squeezing them out, the Saints here. Working them hard against the line. Nice kick this time through to Luke Thompson, who can take the mark at halfback and try and generate some run for the Crows. He might have to flirt with the middle of the ground if he's going to find a clear path. Because at the moment, all his options are being shut down. And he's forced to go down the line and try and pull a mark out of the sky. Henderson lost his footing. McAvoy, they all slide in. McKernan takes it now and heaves it into the 50. And underneath it, with all the time in the world, was the big man. And Kurt Tippett can have a shot. It will be a real test of his kicking skills here.
Well, he played well last week, Hutto, and Taylor Walker's out there. So too McKernan, and it's a tall forward line the Crows have got.
That long kick to the wing, St Kilda will be disappointed. They had 4-on-1, and the mark spilt by McAvoy and gave the Crows an opportunity. So they had it covered, St Kilda, but good persistence by the Crows.
4 goals too from set shots.
20 seconds!
For Kurt Tippett this year. And that is his total score. He's played just the 3 games. He doesn't have to worry too much about the wind. It's an unusually calm night tonight at Football Park, and he certainly enjoys that by saluting with the first goal.
Good start for Tippett, and St Kilda, they're going to use Blake in the ruck. McAvoy off. It's a role that he played 4 or 5 years ago under Grant Thomas.
Up against McKernan. He wins it down, does blank to Schneider. Racked up immediately, going nowhere. Another bounce.
Thanks, Adam.
And just 3 Saints in their forward 50. Revolt, Wilt and Milne.
Trying to find the answer to that additional forward up there for St Kilda. 1 down by McKernan. Opportunity wide of the play for Armitage. He does well. Only got about 10 metres to the advantage of Smith, who slipped over. Well done, Tambling. Can't get the clear possession. Just stripped of him by Armitage. Goddard gets some purchase on the kick, but it's only as far as Rutten. He marks at half-back for the Crows. Now wants to switch play. He's got Douglas if he can get the ball to him. Long kick. It sits up a long time, but a well-directed kick. So Douglas on the half-back line directs it to the wing. Taken by Knights, who was felled earlier in the game. Knights long towards half-forward. At the back, Dempster fists it away. At ground level, that was brilliant from Tippett. Over towards Van Berlo. An opportunity here. Taylor Walker thought about going.
Free kick off the ball.
Kick.
Against Tenderson.
To Graham. That's a real lost opportunity for the Crows.
And there's some arm chopping. That is a real costly one, isn't it? But Adelaide, they could have gone 2 goals up and really got the crowd involved. We noticed they were a lot less boisterous than normal before the game, Rob.
Very quiet downstairs, Hutto. I think they realise if they lose this, it's 4 losses in a row. And I know it's early days, but maybe September will be kaput for them.
Armitage growing in confidence as a player after getting a lot more opportunity this year. Forced to go the long way around. Fisher's a good man in a crisis. Dempster too, plenty of experience on his side. They work it back for Baker and the kick out for Will Johnson on debut. He's up and cut, complete the job. Dangerfield wills his way on there, but in doing so, gave Johnson a little bit of a clip over the ears.
There's a fend off in the end.
He's come up with the free, the young man, on debut. So his first kick will take place at half-back at Amy Stadium. Recruited as a defender, but has spent a fair bit of time forward. He's bold and willing to kick all the way across the ground and find Zach Dawson. And he's got Jones on. Well, it's an ordinary kick.
No, that's the reason why he can't kick on his right foot. He should have moved the ball on immediately with his right foot. He didn't have the confidence to go on to his right, so he went back, settled, and on the left, and he mucked it up on the left. But you've got to be a dual-sided player.
Fortunately for him, it pitched just inside the boundary line. So Jacobs and Blake. Jacobs with too much bulk. Down to Simpson. Feeds it wide. Van Berlo hurried kick towards goal. Across the face. And a chance for Gilbert, although just beats him over. So a boundary throwing deep in the right forward pocket for the Crows, who have started pretty well. Sam and Gilbert looking to some of that wonderful form he had in 2010. So Tippett in front, takes it out, quick snap. It was adventurous. Scrapes it through for a behind. So
there was no one in the goal square there, Chris, so it was worth a crack, I reckon.
Absolutely. Just couldn't quite pull it back far enough. So Crows by 7 points.
Goddard instant kick in, saw Baker, finds him, and the Saints have the task now for the short kick. They've been cornered here with Del Santo.
That's it!
There's no one immediately obvious for him along the boundary line, so he's going to have to go long if he's going to take that path, and that's the he just adapted the kick at the last moment. It was well played, adjusted it for Stephen Milne, so they've worked their way outside the defensive 50, but to take it any further, they're either going to have to go back or do what Milne's about to do, which was do a bit of Milne magic. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Wilt on the wing, and he hit him on the chest.
Yes, wonderful stuff. Wilt short, dangerous. Well done by Tambling. Brilliantly rove, though, by Del Santo. Chance here for Johnson. Can he pick it up inside? No, he can't. Just got an awkward bounce to Will Johnson. And the ball is over for a boundary throw-in, half forward for the Saints.
Well, they moved it forward about 120 metres, and they were no further from the boundary line than 10 all that way.
So Jacobs props in front, wins it down to Riley. He's immediately tackled by Schneider. Ball not coming out, a bounce 55 metres from St Kilda's goal. Brent Riley with the job on Montagna tonight. So McAvoy and Jacobs. Jacobs wins it brilliantly to Douglas. Oh, gee, kicked it straight into the leg of Montagna. Now a chance for the Saints. They try and work it through. Stephen Walker tackled a bit high, I thought.
Over the shoulder.
Just dominating the hit-outs of the Crows, 8-1.
So Walker, by contrast to St Kilda, into the corridor. Yanch to Martin.
Yes, back there.
So it's downfield, is it?
Grabbing around the wire, steering up.
It is.
So it's an Adelaide free kick to McKernan
That's where it
against
happened.
Gilbert.
Yep, that's
Against
where
Gilbert. And
So
you just wonder why you do that. You know, you're that far off the ball. There are 3 umpires out there. They're instructed to look at this sort of thing.
And that's what the pressure created by this run through the corridor that the Crows are being able to achieve at the moment, putting the St Kilda defence under pressure.
Young McKernan is a pretty accurate shot. 5 goals won from set shots this year.
From 45. Wonderful goal.
And back of picture, you can see Gilbert hanging on to McKernan. Correct call by the umpire.
So the Crows with the opening couple of goals, and they're dominating the inside 50 count as well, 7-3. So they've started well. They're happy, as Dangerfield showed there, to get the ball out into the open spaces and back themselves to run. Farron Ray, big loss, I reckon, for the Saints tonight, Rob. And that means Montagna's being tagged, so they just don't have that outside run.
I agree. I think Farron Ray is an underrated player. He was really good for St Kilda in their win against Brisbane.
Certainly was. They get numbers around the ball here. Dangerfield almost threw that out. Del Santo was walking a fine line, and the line was fine enough for him to go over, as it turns out, and we'll have a throw in. Graham's had 5 disposals for the Saints. Armitage and Del Santo 4. Tambling, Rutten and Van Berlo. Tippett, Walker and Dangerfield all with 3 already. They're the early ball winners. About the halfway stage of this opening term. Game being played on Adelaide's terms at the moment. Douglas was slick. Thompson is always a strong competitor. Got it forward. Baker put an end to that. Uses Fisher on the way out. And now they can run. Here's Will Johnson again. Looks a good size and a good mover. To half forward, Tambling and Milne. Oh, Tambling did all the hard work and left the scraps to Milne. He'll love that. Kick it long towards full forward. Thompson in prime position. Didn't complete the job. Big chance for Snyder. Normally there and sneaky, but Crows able to just slide it through for a behind. Douglas, and we'll have a kick in. Saints 2 behinds and the Crows 2-2-14.
Richard Douglas, great desperate work there. Best and fairest, of course, for the Crows last year. But the ball with Michael Doughty. Chips into the pocket. It's okay, Mark, taken by Rutten. So this is where it gets difficult when it's okay to chip it into the back pocket, but St Kilda have got the numbers where this kick is going to land. Tippett, in fact, trying to keep it so close to the line, it's over. And a free kick to St Kilda. And 50 metres against Tippett.
Okay, mate.
Such a big mistake, Rob. Now we watch it here. Now Tippett takes the mark. It's out on the full and he just throws the ball away.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
And
brain snap.
Yeah.
Mark Brickley, assistant coach, he can't believe it.
Well, the Saints had a couple of them last week, didn't they? With
Gilbert.
Yep, and Snyder.
Yep.
So the Crows have let the Saints off the hook here. Big opportunity for Sam Fisher. Just 25 metres from goal. There's the angle. And he's let the Crows off the hook. Scraping in for a behind.
It's a hard slog for the Saints at the moment, but they had some opportunities. Doughty goes longer this time and be happy with the result. Riley tries to come away after the Thompson handball, and the fend-off
Brendan Goddard
has gone against Riley. So Goddard can set it up. He had plethora of options into the 50 on Montagna, got the fumbles at the wrong time. Goes in to try and retrieve the situation, but not before Smith and Thompson, and the other Thompson got involved. Jacobs with a slow motion, very up and under kick. Tamblin again couldn't take the mark. His recovery was okay. Riley putting the pressure back on Brodie Martin, but he comes away for the Crows and safely negotiates the kick out to the wing where Ricky Henderson's up to take the mark. And the Crows can move again towards half forward.
Big leap in front. Oh, gee, that's a wonderful mark by Dangerfield. Looking impressive, Adelaide. Deep into the pocket. Oh, Tippett by himself.
Wonderful, wonderful kick. Wonderful, wonderful kick. To be able to swing around like that and spot up a teammate who's 55 metres away. It went from A to B in the least possible amount of time and just set the big fella up.
And that marking power, that those tools that we've seen from Adelaide, we saw them last week, Rob, really helped them get back in the game. They look potent again tonight.
Yes, and I just wonder if Ross Lyon's got enough tall fellas who can get back there and help out.
5-2 from set shots. Kurt Tippett already has one from 20 metres. Shouldn't have too many problems. Adelaide have 3.
Well, that's the kick of Dangerfield, which is just an absolute ripper. Nick Riewoldt hasn't had a touch, and Gwilt's playing in the forward line, and they might have to think about moving him back.
Adelaide have won the last 6 clearances now, 9-3. Oh, look at that amazing follow-up tackling work. Big man getting straight in and gets the
We're not going to
plaudits
pay a
of
free kick,
the
but
runner.
we just have to stop it afterwards, okay?
Here's McKernan, look at him. Followed up on Smith of St Kilda and just latched on, lassoed him in. There was nowhere to go. McAvoy the tap, but again, the follow-up work from McKernan outstanding. Into the spaces, and they come from all angles, but alas, the boundary line was too close. So the Crows maintain their 17-point lead. St Kilda, as Wolsey said, the stars not getting enough of, particularly Nick Riewoldt, and no goals on the board at this stage. Adelaide dominating the stoppages and the contested possessions.
Contested possessions, the big thing in football nowadays, Hutto, and Neil Craig would be delighted with that stuff.
So Smith gets it from Douglas, hoists it high towards half forward. Baker over the top. Chance for Walker. Crashed into Graham. Well, gee, it's a hot footy at the moment. Riley with an opportunity. Who needs to get it out? He'll be pinged here. He gets it out. And the umpire will bounce it. So Wright was at the base of the pack in the end. And the ball to be bounced inside the attacking 50. Now McAvoy was being...
You grabbed the back of his jumper.
There you go. So free kick to McAvoy. Now Stephen forced to backtrack, needs to be precise here, and is with a 15-metre pass to Baker. A lot of Crow fans didn't quite think it went that far. Now Goddard, now called to play on, across the defensive goal face. And the mark's taken by Gilbert.
Yours? Yep.
So they work it around the outer side. And Fisher with the opportunity now. So just over 6.5 minutes of game time left in this opening quarter. St Kilda love to just kick at least one to get them on the board. Kick towards Riewoldt, ball to the back. Rutten will be first to arrive. Handballed into the feet of McQualter. Inch has got it over boundary, throwing the attacking side of the wing for the Saints.
St Kilda's moving it that slowly that every time it gets near Nick Riewoldt, he's surrounded by 2, 3, 4 opponents. Really hard for him to get into the game.
Yes, Rutten playing about 3 metres in front of him, and Davis playing alongside him. The going is particularly tough for the Saints star tonight. Gets an opportunity here in amongst 4 or 5, but again, the numerical advantage was initially paying dividends. Armitage probably would have liked to have been slicker. Eventually it gets through Gwilt's hands, and Snyder hit back him 9 times out of 10 from there, but this was the one occasion he was going to miss it, just when St Kilda desperately needed a goal too. And the Saints labouring on just 3, now 4 behinds. Adelaide 3-2-20 as John Cock pulls a new rock out of the bag.
Graham Johncock outstanding last week against the Blues.
Hasn't had a touch in general play tonight, but as you said, he was brilliant with his drive last week, wasn't he?
22 disposals and everyone effective. Now Doughty goes across the defensive goal face. Jentz taking the game on with the benefit of a Rutten. Shepherd. And he finds Davis, half back.
Andrew, let him run. Play on.
Switches back. Rutten, John Cock. Just a moment.
Gee.
of concern. Now kick towards Smith, who does well, gets up and marks strongly on his chest. Half-back for the Crows. Short, hugging the boundary line to Tambling. He marked that right on the line, Richard Tambling. Short kick, oh gee, he gave his Schneider a good look at it, but Knights was strong in the contest. Poor kick though.
Going in, you go through.
And it'll be a St Kilda free kick at half-back.
Next free kick.
Well, they're playing on a lot more than St Kilda. 40% play on after a mark of the Crows. St Kilda, 20% play on.
And there's more evidence for that, Rob. Gilbert forced to wait. Kicks into the middle. Not only was it hard for McGraw, it was impossible because it went straight to Martin, who really wished he could have completed the job. Scrappy tackle there from Yench. Over the back of McGrolton, moves it straight away. Goddard squirts it out the back further. Fisher off the next line. Out for Stephen, but again, it's a labour-intensive, slow build-up for the Saints. Next one along the line, the bases are covered.
Move it on, please.
That Gilbert kick, I can't believe he went for that kick, Gilbert. They got away with it, but it's the riskiest kick of the night.
Right there,
Well, a real let off Martin, dropping that easy mark. They're away, the Crows.
So Blake,
Move it on, please.
reprieve tonight for the Saints. Indecision all over his face. He eventually just lofts it in the general direction of half forward. McKernan powerful in the air. Thompson's always that on the ground. Tough for Douglas to escape from there. How will Hayden Kennedy's not going to have any sympathy at all. Bang, you're gone. Good tackling from Alistair Smith. And the Saints can maybe set something up here. Douglas felt he got some sort of high contact there by his reaction.
Yours.
Wobbly old scrappy kick into the 50. Easy fodder for the Crows defence. Nick Dowdy comes up with the mark. Oh, and his kick was just as bad. In fact, it's worse because Gilbert can have the shot. And knowing how Gilbert's gone at the moment, you wouldn't know where the next kick would go. Maybe this is his chance for a bit of redemption here.
Well, go back, settle yourself down and put it through. It's a funny game, isn't it? Because they've hugged the boundary line both sides, and when they've gone through the corridor, they've been the riskiest kicks of all time.
So Gilbert, pensive, thinking about what's ahead. You can see what's ahead. It didn't go where he imagined. It's a behind. 5 of them for St Kilda is all Ross Lyons got to show from a fair percentage of this opening quarter. Adelaide 20, St Kilda 5.
So John Cock again. That's what's ahead of him. Not too many holes.
Move it on, please.
Now he's called to play on, so a little chip more than anything towards Jacobs. Front and centre was Dangerfield. It's pushed in the back. He'll get the free kick.
Dangerfield to Dangerfield.
Got it, Jake.
Umpire McBurney barking the instructions. So now Dangerfield
Play on.
again forced to kick long along the line. 2 on 2 here. Tippett, Fisher at the back. There was Dempster at the back. Jacobs did well to find the footy at ground level. Off to Van Berlo. Little chip ahead into the path of Douglas coming across to meet it. It was brilliantly done by Fisher. And the umpire says throw it in, despite the calls.
Just one disposal for Lee Montagne so far tonight, Rob. Been beautifully tagged by Riley.
Riley's done a great job on him early, and he's probably been the informed St Kilda midfielder.
Certainly was cutting them up last week, wasn't he? Lovely tack, Jacobs down to Douglas. They continue to dominate in that area. McKernan calling for another free. Umpire not paying this one. Thompson up, down, little right underneath it, and Fisher comes crashing through with the footy, and the behind is conceded.
Thompson's shadow, Clint Jones.
They look dangerous in the air, though, don't they, Adelaide? All the way, even when they kick deep down the line, Rob.
And the conditions are pretty good out there, Hutto. We were out there, and whilst it's rained in Adelaide today, the ground's in really good nick.
Thanks, Scotty, right there.
Short kick by Schneider's effective to Dempster. Squirts it wide, Del Santo. Now Jones in space at half-back. Not much to go to. In fact, he goes to a 2-on-1 against, and Dowdy comes across. Oh, Davis gave away an unnecessary free kick, and that might be 50.
Well, it should be 50, really.
Well, he kicked it away, Dowdy. Umpire McBurney giving him the benefit of the doubt, but they had 2-on-1, and Davis was crude with his attempt to kick Armitage out of the contest, and costly error, perhaps. He kicks to Milne, who marks 60 from goal.
It was actually good common sense not to give the 50, but they don't normally apply that in that situation.
So Milne goes towards Revolt, hits him low down.
Great pass.
And a couple of mistakes by the Crows just in the last few minutes have allowed St Kilda with their own opportunities. They haven't taken them yet, but a big opportunity here for the captain.
Yes, the captain's first touch for 27 minutes, and it's a great pass, and Rutten's angry with his teammates for not filling that hole.
So Nick Revolt, the champ. What a career he's had. 5-time best and fairest winner. 7-4 from set shots.
Gee, I reckon they've just missed 3 times to the left of that post.
Another missed opportunity.
He took 6 marks last week, Nick Revolt, but he had, I think, 7 inside 50s, Rob, and it looks as if Ross has tried to get him to be a bit closer to goal tonight.
Yep. And judging by that shot for goal, Hutto, I think he might have given away the early season run-up that he had. He just went back to a little bit more run and flow.
Jacobs with the up and under. McKernan was one of the last men standing. Dangerfield sorted it out, set right away, hesitated, summed it up and summed it up very well. Easy pickings for Tippett, who has a look over the shoulder and then got some advice, and that is go back and have the shot and really make this sting for the Saints.
As soon as you take your eyes off the ball as a defender, and I know, Chris O, you're agreeing with me because you're an old defender.
Old.
And that's what Zach Dawson did. As soon as you take your eyes off the ball and you look to see where your opponent is, you are gone.
He panicked because he knew the kick was coming in, and he didn't have body contact on Tippett. He looked away from the ball to find Tippett, and by the time he could get his eyes back on the ball, Tippett had gone around him and has taken a comfortable mark.
So he had the practice golf swing, and now he's into the real thing. And that looks pretty good. It's fading, but it's holding good enough. Adelaide's 4th.
And Dawson's eyes are off the ball, searching for his opponent, and of course Tippett, all he's got in mind is just ending for the footy. The captain's disappointed, 1 because he missed his shot, and 2 it rebounded for a goal.
So a chance now for Jacobs. Oh, tackled front on by Jones. The umpire was blindsided there. Ball not coming out. Jones with an opportunity and eventual bounce. The interesting thing about the Dawson mark, as the siren goes for quarter time, is the ball landed where he was initially. If he had just kept his eyes on it, he may have marked it. But quarter time, a big quarter by the Adelaide Crows.
Fabulous quarter. And Rob, big Jacobs in the ruck has had 4 hit-outs to advantage, 9 hit-outs overall.
Yep.
They've dominated, haven't they, around the clearances?
Sam Jacobs fantastic in the ruck, getting good support from McKernan. Tippett doing his bit up forward. And they're winning the contested ball, the inside 50s, the marks, the play-ons, and Ross Lyon, he's got a few worries at the moment.
He's got some massive headaches. Can he sort them out? We'll find out next.
In picture, Dangerfield's had 6 disposals, all won in contests, and that's why he is a budding star.
Second quarter underway, Crows by 21. Riley or Juby's looking handball, got away with it. Schneider, little fumble. Chance for Scott Thompson, scrambles at the half forward, going back. That was a brave effort by McAvoy, and he's marked centre half back for the Saints. What can they muster in this second quarter? Trail by 21, although they did miss 3 or 4 very easy opportunities for goal. Del Santo, wide towards Johnson. Revolt, well done Davis, applying pressure. Handball from Revolt wasn't good. Henderson did well. Scott Thompson from centre wing. Tippett's been outstanding, and he marks 55 from goal. He's a handful for Dawson. He's kicked 3. Too far out to score this time.
Bad injury for the Crows. We'll pick it up.
Kick long towards the goal square. Walker was pushed into it. No free kick. Fisher had to get rid of it quickly and did. McAvoy, Blake, put him under the pump. Goddard always has time. Measures the handball. McQualter. And the kick wide is effective.
It was Phil Davis. We just saw him going up the race there. Corey will give us some more details, but that looks very serious.
Well, he's the man that's had the job on Revolt, so they'll need to reorganise themselves here, St Kilda. Meantime, free kick to Gwilt at half-back.
I wonder whether Rutten's on Revolt at the moment, but I wonder whether young Luke Thompson will go on to him, or whether they'll stick with the battle truck back there, Wolsey, in Big Ben Rutten.
Well, they like to keep Rutten in that defensive 50.
Jacobs commanding the airwaves again with a mighty spike away. Collected well by Del Santo. The insurance out the back was Gilbert, but he fell over. Henderson, sneaky little play to get it through to Doughty, and that was delicate as well. There's Thompson. They're advancing to half forward. Can they move it on? Tippett makes his move. Decides to go shorter than that, and there was options galore. Douglas was able to sneak in, and he'll have the shot at goal.
And Brad Sides, the substitute, getting ready. You'd think that the Davis injury is a bad one.
It's a bit like being the next man into bat, isn't it?
No,
being the
back
sub.
that
You're not
foot.
quite sure when you're going to get your opportunity. You've got to be ready. You've got to have the pads on, but you can wait an awfully long time. So Douglas, the best and fairest, as Chris mentioned earlier last year, hasn't quite been able to replicate that form so far this year. Not a bad effort from there. It's all going the Crows' way at the moment. Let's go down to Corey to get that important update on Phil Davis. Corey?
Yeah, Hutto, he's gone up the race, as you saw. It's a shoulder. He's clutching it. He's had some problems with it just in the last couple of weeks, and he's worked his way back into the side. There were some questions about it, but he's grabbed it straight away. There you can see, dislocated. Looked a lot like Jason Portplesia did when he went up the race in round 1, which was a nasty one, we know, and he's out for the rest of the season. So a bad one there for Phil Davis. He was biting the mouth guard very, very hard as he went up the race.
Well, he actually did it before he hit the ground.
Yeah, there didn't seem to be much in it, did there? Must be a weakness there.
So Symes will get his opportunity, I'm sure.
Sticking with Rutten on Nick Revolt.
So Revolt has only had it 3 times today, or tonight, as Crows get it forward again. Mark taken by Wright. Quick handball off to the big man Jacobs, if you don't mind. Now free kick holding. Free kick to Walker against Blake. And that's one of a number of free kicks against the St Kilda defence.
And it's against the big fellas, and there's no doubt the St Kilda defenders mentally are fragile against these big fellas, because players like Dawson and Blake are thinking, well, we're going to have to stop them with a grab and a hold, and we just saw the hold back there just before Walker went off on the lead.
It's just coming out of the middle so quickly, isn't it, as well? It's so dominant.
Kick 4 last week, 6-6 from set shots, and first real blemish for the Crows. An easy opportunity missed there by Taylor Walker.
Yeah, and they've got to make the most of those, Chris, because they could just about bury the Saints in the next 5 minutes. If they get a couple more goals, it'd be very hard to see St Kilda coming back.
Well, it's at 28 at the moment, early in this second quarter, and Nick Del Santo has the footy. Gains that extra 5 metres and then hopes that Goddard can be the next man to take the mark. Didn't really get near it. Fisher had a bit of a crack at it. Jones gets in to help. There's Symes. On and into the thick of it straight away. Now Riley, there's an error. Couple went to ground. Sneaking in McWalter. Goddard misses Jones now. On the overlap, it's all Adelaide.
Have a look, Hunter. There's Revolt surrounded by 4 Crows.
No joy for him there. Now the kick from Tambling out to the half-back line, and as you said, there's just Crows streaming forward. Martin's kick into the space. Taylor Walker on the overflow, little right. He's been handy so far. Deep kick, tip it, dangerous again. Couldn't hang on to the mark that time. And another behind, but they've moved it so quickly from defence. And let's get down to Corey for some more news from the bench. Corey?
Yeah, Brad Symes has come on, fellas. They've just ruled out Phil Davis. He is done for the night. He's still in there getting assessed by the doctors, but the ambulance guys are standing by. They're saying they're not needed, but it's not looking good for Phil Davis, and Symes is into the game.
Good on you, Corey. Now Gwilt long towards half-back, but again the Crows in number. They work it back. Rutten, Riley. Now he handballs it 25 metres back to Johncock, who switches into the corridor. Tambling. Got another loose player wide, but he decides to stick inside the centre square to Walker. St Kilda have got all their numbers in their defensive half. Walker lets fly from 70 to the goal square. Tip it up. Oh, that was brilliant from Gilbert, fisting it away. And he tried to mark it on his chest there, Tippett. I wonder if he had the arms extended, whether he might have had an opportunity. But Gilbert did very well.
Brodie Martin was screaming for it from eternity in the pocket just inside the 50, but they tried to go straighter towards goal. I guess you can't complain about that.
So boundary throwing, Crows in the attack. Tippett finding it at ground level, couldn't do it. And Thompson handball out the back to Dangerfield. That was a brilliant smother coming from Schneider.
Hurt himself too.
Yep. Another boundary throwing 45 metres around from the Adelaide goal.
St Kilda play on after a mark for the game is 16%. Incredibly low.
So 40 metres around from goal. The operation for the Crows is to try and get it into the hands of someone like Dangerfield. Goddard there. Or Tippett, good tackle. Knights or goalkeeper stuff. Touched just on the line by Sam Fisher. Hurried kick from Knights almost produced a goal. It was almost a holding the ball as well in there.
And the goal umpire just, I thought he was going to pay it for a goal. He had a good, long, hard look at it before he made a decision. So Gwilt again goes long, looking for McAvoy, fisted away by Jacobs again. Another boundary throw in, but gee, St Kilda are finding it. They can't get into their forward half.
No, and even if they do get the ball going their way, Rutten and Johncock are sitting off the play. And they're two of the most experienced defenders in the competition, and they're just mopping up whatever comes their way.
Well sharp by Armitage. Now he
Throw him down afterwards.
just killed on the tackle too long, did Big Jacob, so he's doing well in the ruck. But a free kick to Armitage at half back for St Kilda. Long along the line again. In front, Rutten couldn't take it this time. Smith did well at ground level. Townley put the head down and earns a free kick. A bit lucky.
We've been inside 55-0 in this quarter, Adelaide. I've seen that tackle before from Kurt Tippett. It was the first tackle inside 50 for the match. And that's such an emphasis of modern footy. Most of the play, I guess, has been between the 50s. Johncock kicks wide. And the skipper Van Berlo takes the mark. Lots of congestion ahead of him. No definitive long targets. Oh, he went short to Riley. Bit of overkill with that. He still might get away. Dowdy couldn't keep the feet. Graham, who's been quiet after quite a quick start, or Johncock might a second crack at that. Revolt comes through and does well. Steadfast from Nick Revolt with the feet, which means he can get the hands working to Stephen. And then to Graham. He's capable. He's capable. But not on this occasion. Luke Thompson read it superbly. Takes the mark. Now the Crows can go from the back pocket through Yes.
Wide. Beautiful kick to Rutten, who again just plays on.
Oh, they're on.
They move it on very quickly.
James.
Well done by Gwilt. Got to the mark very quickly and forced Henderson back. So for a rare time, the Crows weren't able to play on. So Henderson kicks beyond the wing towards half forward. Tippett in the pack at the back. Doesn't get to him. Baker rows it well. Not too many options. Slipped over. Or boundary throw in. They were a touch lucky there, the Saints. The Crows descended on Baker at a rapid rate. Boundary throw in half forward.
Chris Van Berlo, the captain of the Crows, and Cassisi, the captain of Port Adelaide, what have they got in common?
Are they both captains?
They're both from Western Australia. You should know that.
Del Santo comes away for the Saints. More gems from Wolsey coming up, so stay tuned. As Armitage gives it to Milne. He's off the leash here. Oh, he was quickly reined in though. He was able to get the handball away just in the nick of time. Armitage misses the target. Henderson takes the initiative, goes short, knows the next one can be long from Thompson, and long it is to Tippett. Didn't take the mark, but he has got the free. Oh, they took the advantage. I'm not sure it was there. Yes, it was. Luke Wright knew it was, and now he's sure of it. Graham got nailed here. Ooh, by Jacobs. I'll have a look at that one. It ended up in an Adelaide goal, and I said it was Luke Wright. Luke Wright plays cricket for England. But Matthew Wright, his long-lost cousin, will be very pleased with that goal. His first in AFL footy.
Here's a chance for the Saints. Oh, shocking kick from Armitage. Revolt an opportunity. Handball too swift for Stephen. Now Schneider. Stephen run down by Rutten. Oh, the Crows.
They're throwing him down.
Oh, free kick to St Kilda. He held on too long, did Rutten. He held on to Stephen too long in the tackle. And an opportunity here for the Saints.
He's clearing away the back.
Last time they played in round 22, St Kilda could muster just 5-7 for the entire match. They didn't score in the last quarter. They didn't score in the first quarter of this game. And we're 11 minutes in to the second. Jack Stephen from right on 50. That looks pretty good. Has he got the carry? Yes, St Kilda finally on the board.
Well, they got that goal because they finally got a centre clearance going their way, the Saints.
So, back in the middle. Will that give some renewed hope for St Kilda? Can they get their guns getting their hands with some clean footy? They do get it out of the middle, and Montagna is involved. So
that's his first kick,
a couple of positives there for the Saints, but that's about where it dries up just for the moment, because Dowdy is marshalling the troops across half back, and the Saints couldn't close him out. Tough for Wright, and Gilbert was able to bully him out of it. Del Santo, Schneider, Each handball got them more and more into the space. Suddenly they look a bit better. Stephen was able to fool Jens, fooled himself for a moment. Well, that was clever, cute and effective. Little up and under from McGualter. That was a little bit in between. And Smith's able to work it away for Adelaide, out of the immediate danger. Handball from Knights was good. John Cock onto the wing. Leading in the race, as you can see, is Snyder. He can bring it into Montagna. And maybe they can just get a bit of a feel, a bit of a surge of the footy here, the Saints. Out as wide as possible. Set up complete. Dempster's high ball. Here towards full forward. Bounce could go either way. Thompson reading it with great expertise for a young man. Feeding it off for Scott Thompson, whose left foot takes the ball onto the wing, but that's where it'll come to a halt. Baker taking the mark, but again, look at the Saints. They've got more urgency about their ball movement now, haven't they?
Certainly have. As Gwilt goes into the corridor, Montagna's starting to get his hands on it.
Yeah, they need Montagna and Snyder to get their hands on the footy. They've been so cold in the early parts of this game.
Wide to Gilbert. Certainly their intensity after that first goal has lifted for St Kilda. He kicks deep into the pocket towards Armitage, who slides, takes the mark.
It's a long way to goal, though, isn't it, going that way?
Now there's Revolt and Rutten.
And got a...
Makes the lead, and it's on it, and Revolt drops the mark, much to the delight of the Adelaide fans. So a boundary throw in. Inside the attacking 50 for St Kilda.
Well, he neither took it with his hands or took it on his chest.
Can they win a stoppage here, Robin? Add to their total. Del Santo dragged down. Adelaide desperate in their defensive half.
And a criticism I have of Nick Revolt, he's a wonderful player, but he just doesn't go for enough marks with his hands at full stretch. Lets the ball come onto the body.
Phil Davis emerging from the rooms with that right shoulder heavily iced and the substitute jacket on. Symes is on. Blake wins it down. Armitage, left foot snap towards goal, and just missing. Johnson tried to mark. Armitage slow to get to his feet, but are behind only to the Saints.
They are looking a little more positive, though, aren't they, Rob? A bit more intent about them.
I think the last 6 or 7 minutes they've picked up a lot. Just winning so much contested ball, though, the Crows, which hasn't been a feature of their game this year. Neil Craig would be delighted with that.
Jens down the middle. You can see the tactics from Tippett. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way he planned. McGualter, Gwilt, the Saints going around in circles a little. And Baker just copped some high contact. Advantage.
As he kicked it, got him over the shoulder.
It was continuous and it went down. And Smith took the mark. Alas, it goes back for Gwilt, who bit of needle in the haystack stuff there. It doesn't work out as he would have liked. Smith, and now Tambling crafts the kick across the body. Douglas ducks under, takes the mark. Keeps it moving on the overflow.
Wilt gone into defence.
Van Berlo, deep kick. Henderson's got to come over. Fisher, not an easy task. He almost completed it, though. Fisher, plenty of guile and experience. Just a few nervous moments there for Saints fans, but they get it out safely eventually onto the wing. Armitage wanted to move. You can see that's in their head at the moment. They've got to move it on at all costs.
Kicks wide. And the mark taken by Johnson. First gamer for the Saints. Drives it deep towards Del Santo. Symes at the back. Needs to just take it through and does. Disguises it very well. Another behind to the Saints.
Into Martin, who finds himself in the back pocket and needing to kick somewhat dangerously, but John Cock was a good man to get the ball to, and Jens is a pretty good user of the footy, and they like to run. This young man has been impressive. Smith comes away for the Crows. Onto the wing, finds the captain again, Van Berlo. He's making that wing his own at the moment. As they link up, Smith showing he's got the power to run and repeatedly put the efforts in and help the Crows just work it bit by bit down the ground. So he's now at half forward with Adelaide leading by 28 over St Kilda. And a big bomb is on here to full forward. Tippett's got a couple to beat, and he did it with the greatest of ease. And what a sight he is for Adelaide fans, who haven't had much to cheer about in the key forward sense since the days of Tony Modra.
Copped a heavy one here too.
Different player, obviously, to Modra, but almost as exciting. Maybe not quite as Tony, but...
Gee, he's got a will to get to the footy, hasn't he? Like, he could have given up there. He was blocked, but he just worked his way through the block. Eyes fixed on the footy. He's a special talent.
I wonder if he's got his bearings and wits about him enough here to be able to kick the goal. He's made a great start. 3 goals in the first quarter. Coming into this match tonight, he Only had 4 goals from 3 games. Kickbags of 3 and 2 against the Saints last year.
Gee, it's a long run-up. He goes back a long way. He's got his routine, swings the leg.
Swing, yeah. Wardy will be pleased with him, Rob, because he's worked on his game and he's got a routine and he sticks to it. And it works. But this time it's just a behind. It was always going to be after that, wasn't it? I suppose. St Kilda are 1-8 though at the other end of the ground. And even Adelaide, as you can see, 6-7.
So Del Santo at fullback. There's the zone that most sides now are employing, the full press. So forced to go into the back pocket.
Wait up!
Well,
Just not quite. That's the right philosophy.
well, Stevie Baker doesn't like to kick the footy.
He kicks and he kicks poorly. Oh,
And that's why, because he's not a
they
good
spoiled
kicker.
each other. They're disappointing there. Martin had it all covered.
Every time Stevie Baker gets it, he wants to go backwards or sideways with a handball. He doesn't want to kick it.
That was a big opportunity for the Crows there. So boundary throw in. Jacobs props in front. Right. Well done, Montaigne. You got the handball to Graham. Didn't quite hit him though. Riley is in the way for Adelaide. So a bounce 45 metres from Adelaide's goal.
Brendan Goddard, just 8 disposals.
Margin at quarter time 21. Currently stands at 29. Chance for Dempster. Montaigne, Goddard. Back to Dempster. Milne. Tried to take them on. Boundary throw in.
And this will be dangerous for St Kilda because Blake's rucking against Jacobs. Jacobs so much bigger than him.
He's doing well, Jacobs.
Underlining that contested possession dominance, continuing for Adelaide.
So Jacobs gets the front position. Blake did pretty well. Chance at ground level for Wright. Oh, Riley was well tackled by Graham. Soccer forward by Montaigne. And Doughty takes it over. Just pulled back on the kick, Montaigne, after what happened last week with the deliberate out of bounds.
And the Saints have got McAvoy up forward with Revolt, but it's still 3 Crows against the 2 St Kilda forwards.
He's had 7 disposals this quarter, Lee Montaigne.
Oh, Sam
Jumper
Jacob.
being held. It was just the size difference that forced Blake to employ those tactics. Jacobs goes right back into the middle, so there's open space on the outer side. The Adelaide defenders filling it through John Cock, who took a long time to decide what to do. Revolt couldn't quite close the space completely. Did enough to worry him, but in the end, the result was pretty pleasing. Jens takes the mark. So, not being rushed, the Crows. Crowd getting a little impatient. A couple of little scratchy fumbles across half back. Now they're ready to press go. Into the middle, Van Berlo takes the mark again. Forwards are stationary, not giving him much movement, but there's some big, tall targets. If they want to get it down there quick, there's plenty on offer for them. They start to spread a little bit now. Out to this side, which does give St Kilda an opportunity to put the spoil on. Smith will back himself, hit it himself. McAvoy, 1 more to beat. Uses McKernan, low ball into the 50. Opened the door for the defenders, but still the danger is there. McKernan, high one, numbers with the Saints. Can they get the ball to ground, Adelaide? Some high contact.
Wilt got one over the ear hole.
All right, well, he's got the free.
So against Martin, but Martin himself was being held back. So Gwilt now called to play on, kick towards Blake, but it's all the Crows. Douglas, Jacobs, now Luke Thompson chips it back into the corridor. It's okay. Smith's been active this quarter from 60. Kicks across the face. Oh, beautiful kick to Van Berlo. Couldn't quite get there. Saints have got the numbers. Jones, Gwilt.
Just back as the clean-up sweeper, Gwilt.
Dempster. Now Stephen combines with Jones and they work it out. Oh, wasn't a great handball from Jones. McCalder had to go back and get it, but he gets it to Stephen, who just hurriedly jams it on the boot. Brilliantly done by Smith. Kicks it back from whence it came. Gwilt, the man you're talking about, Rob, in the way. Dempster well tackled by Henderson. Gwilt to Baker. Gee, they're holding on to the Saints, but they don't look too comfortable with it. Stephen makes a contest at half back, and Montaigne takes it over. So great pressure from Adelaide. St Kilda can't get it out of their back half. Boundary throw in on the attacking 50 for the Crows.
Well, we said pre-game that St Kilda's stars needed to shine tonight. Well, they haven't in this first half, and as a result, 1 goal on the board to them.
They've really locked it in there, Adelaide. They just can't escape the boundary lines at the moment. That's the problem out on the fall from Dangerfield.
They've worked really hard, the Crows. You know, at the clearances, the contested possessions, the tackles. They've just been really hard at St Kilda.
So Brendan Goddard 9 disposals tonight.
Angle towards
No
me.
real influence, no telling influence on this game.
St Kilda in just about half a game have only had 15 entries into their forward 50.
High ball,
very low.
Revolt right up the ground to try and lend a hand. Montagna put the head down there. It's just going to be a ball up. Revolt shakes the head and decides he's going to move out of there and try and give them something if they can manage to win a clearance here. Half forward, Jacobs engaged by McAvoy. Symes is the third man up this time. Graham and Jones got a bit onto it, but kept on bobbling. Van Berlo looked to the left. Now he looks in front. Maybe if he'd have been a bit more decisive from the start, he might have been able to come up with a better result than that. 6-8 to 1-8, so they've missed a few chances here in this quarter. Could have completely wiped St Kilda, you would suspect, but look at the other end, and St Kilda have kicked 1-8.
Graham, now Stephen, did well. Oh, gee, the pressure again coming from Van Berlo caused the turnover.
That's it.
And a free kick to Adelaide. Margin 30 points, 3.5 minutes left.
Move it on.
In fact, the pressure came from Smith, who's been outstanding in this quarter. Big lead from Douglas in the pack. Front and centre was Graham, wrestled to the ground. St Kilda just hanging on at the moment with the pressure coming from Adelaide. A bounce 30 metres from the Adelaide goal.
Thank you.
Done some nice things. Matthew Wright, just in game number 2. In and under, keeping the ball in the forward 50 for the Crows.
Well, they just won't let it out, Chris. They've been fanatical about it.
McKernan couldn't get boot the ball. Well done by McAvoy to Smith. Up and under. Well, great courage shown there by Symes. Now,
Holding the man, St Kilda, McWalter.
a bit stiff there, Brad Symes. So McWalter's got it at half-back for St Kilda.
All hands on deck to try and get it out of there. Jones
Still got the mark. Fine
takes the
there.
mark.
Thanks, Chris.
Has to go back. That's been the problem for St
Move it
Kilda.
on.
He did a
Play
good
on.
job, Jones, on Scott Thompson early in the game, but Thompson's got away.
Here's Jacobs having an influence again. Lovely tap down to Riley and Thompson and Tambling and John Cock. Don't mind being part of that Adelaide defence at the moment.
Yours.
Lynch now just controlling the flow of this game to the outside. Smith gaining confidence all the time. Douglas, who's next off the line? Symes is next if he wants to use him. No, decides to bring it in a bit instead. Finds Doughty. Doughty could go long to McKernan if he so chooses, who's one-on-one with Blake. Decides instead to go into the pocket. He's got a man there. And Knight's still too far at the score.
Oh, I'm not sure about that, Hutto.
No, you're right. He can go the distance, but on this occasion he doesn't. Douglas tries to sneak through there, and so too Brodie Martin, but turns out that it's a behind. So, again, Adelaide not completely obliterating St Kilda, but absolutely dominating. Well, since about 10 minutes ago, they just barely let St Kilda take the ball over the middle part of the ground.
Schneider long, McAvoy the target, fisted away by Big Jacobs, who's been outstanding in the first half. Inside 50s, 14-6 in this quarter in Adelaide's favour. They just haven't been able to capitalise. They've just kicked 2 goals.
Have a look at that. That's for this quarter, for this second quarter. 73% of the time it's been in the Adelaide Crows forward line. And that's the way that Collingwood are playing. And other teams are looking at them very closely. And this Adelaide team, as Neil Craig said through the week, he's excited by them.
Lucky break, Tambling slipping over. Revolt to Montagna. Got through to Mill. Now here's an opportunity. Running hard is Schneider. So is Del Santo. Spreads it wide. Running hard is Gilbert from half-back. Luke Thompson goes to cover him. Blake's got a chance now. Off, beautifully done. Schneider from 30 metres. Kicks are behind. 1 goal 10. St Kilda. Or was it 1-9?
1-9.
Sorry, 1-9. So the margin back to 30 points with just over a minute to play in the half.
Gee, they would have given them something, Rob, wouldn't
Yeah, just to go in at half-time with that.
A bit of half or something. But boy, Snyder's been the culprit a couple of times. With shots for goal in this quarter. John Cock keeps as close as he can to the boundary line.
Right there, Steve.
They protect each other in the marking contest. The Crows.
Luke Thompson back to Tambling. Again, this
Thanks, Andrew.
defence will be in real no haste, I wouldn't think, to get the ball down the other end. They'll be happy just to see out the half. Rutten. Boundary line is the direction it's headed. Doughty and Blake make sure it goes over. So I guess a half chance here still for St Kilda late in this second quarter. Only one goal for the half. Kicked by Jack Stephen. Revolt's kicked 2 behinds. Snyder's kicked 2 behinds. Blake the tap. Through Riley's hands. Here's Douglas. Spies the captain, Van Berlo. Wants to move it. Decides that he will off the left. Set a really big task for McKernan. Compelling the way they've gone at the ball. That is holding the ball, surely, or incorrect disposal. Umpire begs to differ. Big Zach's got some issues out there on the wing. Stevens to Armitage. Back into the middle. 18 seconds. They won't know that. Quick hands is all right from Graham. Smith on the bounce. Revolt. Will they get one last chance? No, they won't. And that will be the score at half-time, you fancy. Time's just going to beat the Crows, which is unfortunate for them. But it ends a wonderful half of footy for the Adelaide Crows, Rob. They've totally had it all over St Kilda, and they lead by 30 points.
Well, they lead by 30 points, I know. They could lead by a lot more. They kicked 2 goals, 6 in that quarter. They dominated St Kilda in every aspect of the game. Some inaccurate shots at goal mean that they haven't got the game wrapped up. It's still alive, even though they are 5 goals behind. And Ross Lyon and his team, a lot of thinking to do at this main break.
So are we looking at somewhat of the end of an era for St Kilda, or have they still got some fight in them? Can they come back hard here at Adelaide, who haven't put them away? And the Saints take the initiative. Tiny little kick is very effective. You can see they've got some spring about them. Milne takes the Snyder kick and then changes his mind, and he got one high. And
Gigi's lucky.
he was extraordinarily lucky. It did appear that there was just a little brush over the top. Oh, was there? Revolt from behind. Douglas, where's one? Where's 2 or 3? Now, he might be in trouble here. No.
He's making an attempt.
Conservative with his view on that.
Jack.
Rutten has the task still on Nick Revolt. He's done it effectively so far. Davis had it until he was injured. Very low bounce, gave everyone a bit of a crack at it. This young Cripps is on the ground, so he's been activated as the sub. And you see a ball up, so it's as you were as far as the game style is concerned here, with just heaps of numbers around the footy at the stoppages.
So Jacobs, third man up, Del Santo, got it to Stephen. His kick chopped off, and the Adelaide Crows worked very well. Scott Thompson to Burlow, kick run down. Jones taken high, was he?
Gee, the Adelaide crowd, they're hostile.
Against Gench. So now Jones, it is on the left boot, pulls it back across his body, and he's kicked a goal for the Saints. Well done, Jones.
So the margin reduced to 24 with Clint Jones' opening goal in the third quarter. Hope you're enjoying Saturday night footy from Amy Stadium.
And Goddard's gone into the back line, Hutto. Just 10 disposals in that first half, so a chance to run from that half back line. I think that's good. Wilt's gone back, so Ross Lyon's made a couple of changes, got the early goal.
John Cox spreading it wide. Douglas trying to pinpoint the pass, which he was pretty effective with, but unfortunately for him, Riley wasn't able to take it. Montagna was, though, and Del Santo. Saints look
unbelievably bad kick.
a little different for a moment. They had a bit of zip about them, but now it's Jacob sending Henderson away. He's got some zip about him. Doesn't use his natural skills to run. Moves it on now. It's a low bullet into the 50. Tip it almost. Not quite. There's Jones with the lunging handball. Back to the last line, and Dawson and Tagner coming from behind. And the Saints have got an outlet, and it's Gilbert.
Yeah, he's gone forward.
So one step at a time for St Kilda. Puts plenty of effort in the kick. Dempster was able to ride it out. He's given away a forward.
Before he got possession.
Yeah, they're happy with that, the locals.
So Luke Thompson from centre wing.
Play on.
Tracks across the ground, kicks back and across. And just gets there in time to Rutten. He's got a loose player even wider. Yench. short. Okay, so Knights has got it just backward of the wing. Chips to Symes. Started as the substitute, came on for the injured Davis. Now Johncock in the corridor, and they switch it back to Thompson, who was pretty much in exactly the same spot he was a few moments ago. But it's more open on this side of the ground, so Tambling now runs beyond the wing. A little undecided. Now Dowdy back to Tambling. Spreads it wide. Handball, look away handball. Was a poor one. And Smith couldn't gather. So a boundary throw in at half forward for the Crows. Let's get down to Corey with another sub.
Yeah, boys, the Saints late to come out, but they did make their sub at half-time. Jamie Cripps coming on for his first run, the 19-year-old, wearing the famous number 35 jumper. And Will Johnson, who copped a heavy knock in that first half, has come off.
So Jacobs gets it down. Thompson helps us on its way. And there's Goddard. Oh, he's paid the free against him. Engaging Knights illegally. Wow.
This I'd like to see a replay of this.
There's 2 actions.
Let's listen. 2 actions. Oh.
Time back.
Michael, how many touches would you have got?
4 was in 5 metres.
Yeah, and look, it looks worse when it's in slow motion, but it looked to me as though that was all part of the one action. So
surely you can use bodywork in a marking contest.
So, yeah, very unlucky Goddard, I reckon.
Gee, it comes at a crucial time, doesn't it, with St Kilda looking a little better. Adelaide with Chris Knights on the runway, just 35 metres out. You can see what's ahead of him. A still Knight kicks through the ball, makes sure of it. Very lucky here at Amy. You would think the Adelaide Crows there.
So Goddard, the free kick against him. Golden Knights, margin back to 5 goals. And Brendan Goddard, very unlucky, you'd have to say, in that decision. Now favours Jacobs, well sharked by Armitage. Jones off a step, wobbles it inside, attacking 50. Coming up, Revolt couldn't take the mark. Gathers, though, brilliantly. Waft to Stephen, who had it spent before he even got it. Good tackle, Rutten, or head down. And free kick against Dempster, go to Symes. On with it quickly. Yench, long searching kick to half forward. Up Henderson at the fall. Adelaide an opportunity through Knights. Well done, Schneider. Applied some pressure. Goddard, handball into the path of Jones. With the non-dominant side, did very well to bring it back to Dempster. Now Del Santo. Here's an opportunity. Milne.
Fisher's down 150 metres behind the play. He and Tippett have been jostling and elbowing each other.
Okay, so the ball at half forward for the Crows. Sorry, for the Saints, and wrapped up, so a bounce.
And have a look, they've been at each other. Now, there's not much in that. There's not much in that. A little bit of a blow to the stomach, but I've had my eye on them, and they've been having a bit of a whack at each other. I think the advantage is with the Adelaide Crows, because Fisher's a really good player at half-back, and he's on the last line of defence now, out of the action.
And there's a good mark in the goal square. Cripps can go in and put it through.
So Jamie Cripps, his first kick and first goal in AFL football, just had to make sure. The boy from East Fremantle, and proud parents and brother there, Ash, watching on. So opportunity out of the centre for the Crows. Yench, Douglas. St Kilda have lifted their intensity. Douglas, McKernan guides the ball wide. Mark taken by Knights. Can Adelaide reply again? Cut in board. It's all St Kilda. Chance for Fisher, who's recovered from that knock. Wide towards Reebok, but Rutten had him covered. Support provided by Knights. Now Dowdy. Rutten. St Kilda forcing them back, and that's exactly what Rutten does. In fact, back inside defence of 50 to Johncock.
I reckon Nick Revolt is dispirited.
Well, they have definitely lifted, as you mentioned, Chriso, their work rate has lifted St Kilda, and it's having some effect. The Crows wouldn't want to be too conservative here either, I don't reckon, Chriso. They have had a bit of a history of getting ahead of teams and being a bit too conservative at times.
Well, they dominated the first half, but only 30 points in front, so now 24, so another 1 or 2 goals from St Kilda. Game back on.
And so it is. Big door opening here. Surely they need to nail it. It was under a fair bit of pressure, Nick Revolt, from both sides.
And they're giving it to him, the Adelaide players.
Not sure we've got a sub lined up for Wolsey here in the commentary box, Chris. But the old fella's starting to struggle a bit over there, I think. Coughing and spluttering. You're tough, aren't you, Rob?
I'll tough it out, Hutto.
You tell us you are.
So John Cock kicks, and well done by Smith, forcing it over, boundary throw-in.
You know, they've certainly lifted St Kilda. If they get the next goal, I reckon it's game on. Their confidence will lift.
There's the kicking efficiency.
Well, they've dominated every aspect of the game, the Crows, and yet they haven't put the Saints away.
McKernan to Scott Thompson, put the head down. Blake did well to Montagna. Long bomb towards full forward. Oh, well done, well judged by Luke Thompson. Been most impressive that time against Gilbert. Now to his captain, Van Berlo. Got McKernan short, ignores that, goes beyond him towards a diving danger field. That was dangerous. Just padding, just strategically placed there.
Mark's here.
He gets the free kick. Could have gone anywhere, but he went into the padding.
Too much in the kick to the crowd, not happy with the tactics employed by the Crows here.
No, they're being pushed back as Rutten kicks across the ground. Yench now, he's under the pump from Stephen. Good tackle, boundary throw in the pocket. But certainly the aggressive run-on style, play on at all costs attitude in the first half has deserted the Crows for the moment.
And St Kilda might get a sense of something here. John Cock will try and change that. Again, their first thought is to go backwards and wide. Thompson to Rutten, and it's over and out. And even though they've had 3 good uses of the footy there, it's still in St Kilda's area. And the crowd voicing their displeasure. Still relatively early in this third quarter, the margin just under 4 goals. Blake doing the ruck work, but you can see Gilbert came over the top. Blake goes, he's dived on it here. He knows he has to get it out. He does do that. Tambling, scratching, scrambling for it. And Tagner was in there as well. There's Smith, good little clearing kick. Might fall for Milne. And he's taken the mark. And the complexion of this game has changed completely.
Well, it has. And the percentage of ball in St Kilda's forward line, they were just smashed by the Crows, but it's been all St Kilda this third term.
And Milne makes sure of it, and they've got a feeling that they could be back in it.
Well, that's a complete swing around to what it was in the first half when the Crows dominated the ball in their attacking area.
Just 1 goal for the Saints in the first half. 3 goals to 1 already in the third quarter. Certainly intensity lifted. Douglas tried to thread it through the congestion to Van Berlo, which he did. He was pushed in the back, but umpire said it was okay.
Feet when tackled, no prior up, my ball.
Thanks.
No, that's Dangerfield, I think, being examined on the boundary line.
They've got Gilbert deep forward alongside Revolt.
So Jacobs to do battle with McAvoy. Jacobs has done well all night. He wins it again, but shark by McQualter pulled off the kick towards half forward. Milne up in front again. This time in front of Schneider, I should say. Small forwards getting on top. Kick wide to Revolt. Well done, Rutten, although he lost his feet now. A chance for Van Berlo. Just wanted the boundary line. What's the umpire going to do here? Deliberate. He's been pinged for deliberate, Van Berlo.
Gee.
I thought he had just judged it to a nicety. It trickled over the line, but the umpire said, no sirree. Free kick to St Kilda.
Wait for the call. Move it on.
Gilbert thumps it to the dangerous spot, 10 metres from goal. Ball to the back, John Cock misses it. Milne, dangerous in this situation. Pressure from the Adelaide defence is intensive. Now a chance for Scott Thompson. Ball not coming clear, so the umpire calls for it to bounce 25 metres from St Kilda's goal.
There's the deliberate. He did know the boundary was there, didn't he?
Pretty obvious.
So the bounce. In this pretty confined area, it's been hard to get clear touches. That's a little dangerous. Armitage, Milne again. He's got the taste for it. And at this time, he doesn't get the strike. John Scott thought he was playing classic catches at the beach there, I think, trying to make it look good. Lost his footing, but still took the mark. Yench comes away. And now the Crows have finally got some flow. This is what we haven't seen much of this quarter. Douglas to half forward. They look damaging here. Beautifully placed ball, but he was worried out of it that time, Martin. And the Saints are able to come away. Graham into the middle, and now Schneider, and a plethora of options on the outer side. One of them is Sam Gilbert.
Milne is free deep forward.
Gilbert kicks hurriedly to half forward, through everything. Now a chance for Stephen. Hands it up to McQualter. Loose in the pocket, as you mentioned, Rob. Stephen Milne, one step, 30 metres, goal.
Well, you can say what you like about Stephen Milne. I reckon he's a beauty. Any small forward who can average 2 goals a game in a 200-game career is a pretty special player.
Some concerned looks there from both Neil Craig and Wolsey's all-time favourite Matthew Clark down on the bench.
Where's Doc?
He was there, just down behind Neil Craig.
Thank you.
Tap ruckman he was. There's Milne.
Yes, and they might need to move John Cock onto Stephen Milne.
6 touches this quarter, in fact, for Stephen Milne. Just to underline that, Rob Jacobs brings it to his feet. Crows probably happy to try and lock it up a little bit for a while. There's Dangerfield getting a piece of it, got it out into the open. Stephen all over the top of it. Jones careful with the kick. They're scooting into the open spaces. Schneider kicks somewhere in between his 2 forward options. Crows defence went to ground. Schneider came again. Revolt was there, but Symes was closer. Off to Van Berlo. Oh, Smith went right over the top. And as a result, the crumbs were all Adelaide. McKernan first to react in that one-on-one battle with Gwilt. But Gwilt might win the day. No, McKernan's having none of it. He's over it now. He's hatched it. And he's in trouble. And he is gone. And the Crows fans are all on their feet. They can sense some trouble here at AAMI Stadium. And they didn't like that free one bit, but it seemed to be there to me.
Well, he got penalised, Sean McKernan, but I love the big fella's second and third efforts and his ability to win ball at ground level.
The quota plays on short, very short.
What there, Kurt?
It's okay, mark taken by Fisher. Still at half back for the Saints. Missed by Cripps. Here's an opportunity for the Crows. Symes. Oh, I thought he overcooked the kick for a moment, but good stretch by Tippett. He's marked 45 from goal on a 45-degree angle. So, highlight for Jamie Cripps kicking his first goal with his first kick, but a drop mark there giving Tippett an opportunity.
Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it?
Good stretch from Tippett.
One man they haven't got a lot of out of this evening down there is Taylor Walker. He's only kicked 2 behind so far.
3 goals, 2 though for Kurt Tippett. His 3 goals coming in a blistering first quarter. Will kick from just inside 50. Now he goes across the face. They'll contest, and it's already through. So behind 3 goals, 3 now for Kurt Tippett. And the margin out to 12 points.
Right there, mate, no closer.
So, trust in Del Santo here at full-back. Crowd trying to squeeze him up with pressure. So too the Crows defence. Goes for the line, goes for Gilbert, and McAvoy gets the line. And they'll reset. 33,000 the crowd at AAMI Stadium. There's the contested possession count. It swung around with the fortunes of the match. 26-18 in this third quarter. 2 goals the difference. Saturday night
Scott
footy.
Thompson free kick against you, Clinton.
Well, one thing St Kilda's doing is going one-on-one in their forward line. They're not letting the Crows have extra men in defence as they did in the first half, so it's become very much a one-on-one contest all over the ground.
Thompson forced to roll the dice. Tippett, a good target. Down there, he's up amongst a whole heap. Right, can he get there? He was almost able to steal it and snitch it away from McAvoy. Handball misses the target. Eventually they get it over and out. And the Crows fans like what they saw there. They're hungry for a goal.
So the Crows' opportunity here. Tippett versus McAvoy. McAvoy reaches over the top. Hard fought ball. Stephen caught one, backed out of the pack very quickly.
Come on.
And a bounce just 15 metres from the Adelaide goal. And so there's Stephen.
Goddard just coming off the bench has sprinted to get over it. Oh, he's got the kick in the face. Accidental.
So Tippett again to do battle with McAvoy here. Crows need a steadying goal. Fisher takes it. Chance for right. Well tackled by Dawson. Taylor Walker capable of the impossible. Pulls it around his body. Oh, he's kicked the goal. That's unbelievable from Taylor Walker. He mentioned just a few moments ago, Hutto, how quiet he had been. Well, he's pulled something from nothing there. He kicked an amazing goal. Special, freakish player, Rob.
He is. And for a player of that size, he's got really good mobility. Saw him kick a goal last week against Carlton where he sold the dummy 3 times before he unloaded.
He's actually kicked 3-1 this year from snaps, Wolsey, as you said, for a player of his stature.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
And it is what is so exciting about the Adelaide forward line. They can get Paul Cleisha back up and running into the future, though they will be difficult to counter the way they're maturing. It's back to 18 points. So the pressure thrust back on St Kilda now to come up with an answer. The steadier was there from Adelaide. Jake was beaten for it by Blake. He did well with the big leap. His follow-up work was exemplary as well, but Dangerfield, mind over matter, got it forward. McKernan, not without it. There's Dawson and Baker setting it up for Fisher. Had to wait an eternity for it to bounce. That was always tough. It's an interesting handball. The umpire says it's okay. And the Adelaide goes to differ.
Don't you love the passion?
You do.
3 goals, the advantage to the Crows. Jacobs works in front. Tries to guide it to Scott Thompson, who gives away a free kick. Armitage, the recipient.
Yeah, and St Kilda making sure they've got a 6-man forward line in place. They've got a good structure, so it's 1-on-1. Early in the game, they were completely outnumbered down there.
Fisted away by Rutten, but taken by Del Santo. Revolt, now Stephen, very nimble on his feet. Slipped over. And Nortito now, is he going to play that deliberate? Yes. And the Crow fans, don't they just love it?
Would have been a brave umpire not to.
Kick towards half forward. Tippett forced to spoil. Armitage does very well in a tight situation. Feeds it back to Fisher. Got a couple to choose from. Del Santo is marked between half-back and wing as Henderson very slow to get to his feet.
Move it on.
Let's hope he's okay. Already down a man, the Crows. And there's Revolt on a long searching lead. He's got it on centre wing. Wants to give it back to Del Santo. As Rutten retreats, decides to kick instead. Jacobs.
It's a good spoil, wasn't it?
Decisive. Jensch now with an opportunity. Hands and knees Van Berlo. Jensch as well. Tackled. And a bounce at right half forward for the Saints as Henderson. He's up but limping.
Well, we've got a few injury woes, as we mentioned, obviously with Davis gone for the night. And we've had a couple of other concerns along the way. Again, just a huge amount of numbers around the ball. Stoppage after stoppage, boundary throw-in after boundary throw-in.
But most of the numbers are 1-on-1 now, Hutto. St Kilda going 1-on-1 to make sure that it's a contest.
Revolt and Gilbert have worked their way back to the goal square. Milne's there as well, so if the Saints can get it out, they've got some potency.
Kicking in danger, dangerous kick.
And Armitage looks a bit worse for wear after it too.
John Cock moved on to Milne.
Has your arm. If you can't take it, it's Del Santo's kick. Hang on, play on.
Takes it with a handball instead. Fisher, lofted ball. Tough for Revolt, tough for Gilbert. Oh, Milne kept it in. No, he didn't. But they are deeper. And closer to goal. Wouldn't they love to get another one? As the Hordes swarm around in the forward pocket. Look for Milne. There he is, trying to get into the picture. Revolt, Del Santo, heard the voice. Armitage. They've almost completed the setup. They need someone to move it forward. Fisher's a good man. Can strike from outside 50. It won't be a goal. The Crows' defence makes sure of that. And St Kilda now 5-11. Adelaide 8-10, and the margin is back to 17. A few deep breaths for the Crows.
So Jensch at full back for Adelaide.
Henderson coming off, by the way. He's not good.
Now called to play on. Jacobs also takes a spell. Long towards half-back. Well, Smith floating across, but Montagna stood his ground and has taken the mark. 65 from goal. Probing kick into the pocket. Stephen marks on his chest with some treatment from John Cock. Umpire says it's okay.
Well, he is an accurate kick.
Come around, mate, come around.
Is Jack Stephen.
Come around.
Very tight angle.
That's your line. Marks out.
In fact, the umpire helped him get a better line.
Back with me. Graham.
Now Henderson's gone into the rooms for Adelaide, so some concern. Short kick. Revolt couldn't take the mark. And Stephen forced out by John Cock, and Revolt down now.
And there's another.
He's dazed, Revolt. He is dazed.
He's out. Wright's gone off the ground injured as well for Adelaide.
Getting very busy down here, Chriso. You just saw Ricky Henderson go down the race, and they're assessing his knee. That one there, right on the point of the shoulder of Graham Johncock. Not good for Revolt.
Yeah, that was flush, wasn't it? Johncock stood his ground.
Oh, that's an accident.
Yep. And Nick Revolt is in trouble. And Rossline, plenty of worries.
Gee, there's casualties left, right and centre at the moment in this game. Corey Young Wright came off the ground a minute ago, and he's getting some treatment down there as well. I know all eyes are on Nick Revolt. Good to see him getting some help up.
Yeah, Wright just getting his forearm looked at there. He's in the hands of the doctors as well. The concussion rule is the big issue here. Revolt trying to walk around and tell doctors and everyone, of course, he's not concussed, but that's the assessment that's going to have to be made here.
Well, that's what his cousin tried about 3 weeks ago.
Let's go, guys. We're
Looks
starting.
like he doesn't behave like him on the bench.
Hey.
You've got to question the Jack Stevens short pass. It was all of about 10 metres. Put it to the top of the square, even have a shot for goal.
Boundary umpire now does his thing in the pocket. Saints still searching, looking. Crows trying to help them here with every desperate lunge they can muster. Thompson gets it over. Let's have a look at Henderson's injury.
As Nick Revolt sits down. Now there's Henderson, number 45. Oh, his legs chopped from beneath him by a teammate. So a boundary throw in, attacking 50 for the Saints. Van Berlo kicks it clear. Tip it up, couldn't take it. Dempster was held.
Hold the arm. Free kick, Sean Dempster.
So he'll push St Kilda forward again. Chip to Gonard.
Next, Taylor.
Good play to have the ball in his hands. He kicks wider, looking for McQualter. Luke Thompson did superbly. Gee, I'm impressed by him. Johncock's handball not great. Smith tries to knock it on. Douglas can't tell. In fact, it was Martin. Now McQualter gets it from Montagno. A couple to choose from. Del Santos stands his ground 40 metres from goal, directly in front.
And he said to the ruckman, let it go. Don't you dare go for the mark. Let it come through to me. I tell you, who's been terrific for St Kilda in this quarter is David Armitage. He's had 6 clearances, won a lot of in-tight ball.
Had 4 marks to 1 inside 50 this quarter. St Kilda, real turnaround.
They're fighting hard. Nick Del Santo to bring the margin back to 11 points. Beautiful kick. Game on here at Amy Stadium.
Nick Revolt has just gone down into the rooms, boys. This is the incident here with Graham Johncock. Head on top of his shoulder. Down he goes. He was dazed. Of course, the concussion rule, if it's deemed he's been concussed, he can't come back on the ground. Who makes that decision? There he goes in to see the medicos now and try and assess him. Of course, they don't want him concussed. They need him back out there.
Gee, harsh call, holding the ball against Riley.
Yeah, Crows need to hold St Kilda out these last 3 minutes.
Jones, big bomb to full forward, give themselves every chance. Of course, no Revolt down there, but Gilbert is. Montagna had a crack at it, sneaking through. It was McWalter. Oh, and he's got one as well.
Well, it's been an 8-possession quarter to Del Santo, and Armitage, Milne, Montagna have had 7 apiece, so they've really lifted the Saints midfield players.
So Andrew McWalter, his night has produced 16 disposals, no scores yet, but that's about to change. What a kick. Adelaide's lead has been eroded significantly in this quarter and could have been by more, and that's a really costly miss so late in the quarter. Poor old Ross Lyon really feeling the pain. And speaking of pain, there's plenty in the Adelaide camp at the moment. Henderson surely's not thinking of coming back, is he? Barely walked down there, Corey.
Now, Ricky Henderson's just jumped on the bike. He got a corky just above the knee, so he's trying to get that moving again. Matty Wright came off as well, had his bicep strapped up. Of course, Phil Davis has gone earlier. Brad Symes, the sub, was injected in the game back in the first half, so the Crows are running thin on numbers.
Okay, thanks, Corey. Just over 2 minutes left in the quarter, and from an Adelaide standpoint, got to try and hold on. St Kilda, if they can kick one more, they'll take all the momentum into a final quarter. McAvoy to Jones. Del Santo. Good tackle, Riley. Chance for Scott Thompson. Gets the handball forward to Douglas, who gathers the footy. Umpire will bounce. He was just held momentarily without it, but not according to the umpire. Crows fans don't like the decision or the non-decision.
I can't see everything, okay?
At least he's honest, isn't he? We should give him a pair of those specs that every second person in the crowd's wearing.
So Goddard now, well tackled by Wright. Got the scrambler kick towards half forward. Yench. Well, confronted by Schneider head on. And the Crows fans pretty happy with that decision.
He's hurt too. Gets up limping.
So he's got it at half back.
It could worry the Crows because they interchange more than St Kilda. 80 interchanges, St Kilda 100 to the Crows. So it'll affect the Crows, these injured players.
Goddard played it smart at the back of the pack. Jones, also clever, just walked it over. And the umpire said that's okay by me.
Nicely orchestrated by Goddard and Jones.
It was. So boundary throw in, 8-10, plays 6-12, 33,000 people watching on. And they're a little nervous now, the home crowd, after what they've seen in this third quarter. And losing numbers at a quick rate. Hurried kick from Thompson. Up to half forward again. Too aggressive, too eager with the tackle. Dempster started it before it even got there. And that was almost 50. The throw back from Armitage was lofted, which is not allowed these days. High kick Douglas into the pocket, and it was a terrific grab. McAvoy with his desperation to provide some coverage takes the mark. There's a minute to go in the quarter.
And his opponent, Jacobs, was just in no man's land. McAvoy gets back. Jacobs, great smother incidentally by Dangerfield, but that's where the other ruckman, Jacobs, needs to get into a dangerous, usable spot to stop McAvoy going back and adding the weight of numbers inside the defence. But well done there by...
Geez, you worked the mark well there, Dangerfield.
So a boundary throw in. 45 seconds left. Tip it straight to Jones. So out of trouble for the moment, St Kilda. Yench feeds it back in. Well done by Graham, fisting towards the line and over. Boundary throw in 50 metres around from the Adelaide goal.
So we're taking stock here. There's 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Saturday night footy from Amy Stadium. St Kilda looked down and out at half-time, but they've found a way to get right back into this contest. Wouldn't Adelaide love a goal here? Smith with a hurried kick. Tippett, Riley, it's up to him. There was Saints everywhere, though, and he's done well to get a 50-50 result.
Making a genuine
and 21 seconds left. Precious, precious seconds. A goal here would be absolutely golden for the Crows. Tippett gets it down. Jones knows the way out. Milne does well, slick stuff, and it's all about territory. Now the one-on-one. John Cox sends it back. Can wind up. Oh, he didn't wind up with 9 seconds. Went wide. Young Smith knew what to do, but he's just kicked it a bit too wide. And it's like the sun got in the eyes of Tippett, but of course it was the defensive work down there at Big McAvoy. And we will have a throw in the forward pocket, and that will be all for the quarter. So Adelaide's lead has been cut back, and it will be just 10 points into this third quarter. Siren sounds. Robert Walls, quickly your thoughts.
Well, they're back in it, St Kilda. They got the clearances. They went one-on-one in their forward line. They had 6 players down there. Didn't let the Crows have loose men. Won the quarter by 20 points. That's the important thing.
Job in the first half. He's out with a dislocated shoulder. Ricky Henderson, a badly corked leg, and also Matty Wright with an injured bicep as well. So the Crows are a bit thin on numbers.
Sonia Corey, final quarter underway. Crows by 10 points. McAvoy takes it out. Gains 20 metres towards half forward. Good fist from Tambling. Oh, gee, that was courage personified there from Dangerfield, throwing himself at the footy.
Free kicks and killed up.
But to no avail, and McAvoy comes up with it. Now Del Sander, who had lifted his rating in the third quarter, chips it wide towards Gilbert, and Gilbert marks 45 from goal.
Well, Gilbert's gone forward the second half, and with Revolt off the ground, Blake's also playing as a tall forward.
Mark's right there.
So Sam Gilbert missed a relatively easy shot in the first quarter. Wouldn't this be a great start for the Saints in this final term if we could nail it from 50? Across the face, they'll contest. Well done. Good fist there by Jacobs. We'll get a boundary throw in. A boundary throw in. Now there's Nick Revolt just talking to Ross Lyon. No doubt urging the officials to put him on the ground. He's sitting on the bench at the moment. Armitage, an opportunity. Oh, he almost got through. McQualter is offline. Pressing hard early, St Kilda in this final term. Margin 9 points. There's the captain on the bench. So, you know what the difference is between concussion and being dazed, Rob?
I think concussion's a bit worse than dazed.
Right,
so,
is that what it is?
Look, I'm not being nasty here, but they've played well enough without Nick Revolt in that third quarter, and they've started this quarter, so it's not absolutely urgent that they get him on.
Sure, he's got other ideas to that. Montagna as they circle again. Thompson, all hands on deck. McQualter up, she goes. Top of the square, lots of Crows coming from all angles. Del Santo, last man standing. Handball Milne, we've seen that before, but it's, not 15. Amazing decision, could still be costly. Rutten, that is mighty close to deliberate. Mighty close, not quite. Maybe there was just enough perceived pressure around. Really, he was surrounded by his teammates. So quick kick in to Dowdy, gave a look in for Jones.
Chop the arm, free kick.
You heard his
Chop the arm.
thoughts on the matter.
So Dowdy with it, still inside defensive 50.
Outside.
Oh, gee, McQualter there was in
Move it on.
the illegal
Play
zone,
on,
so
play on.
umpire McBurney allowing it to pass as Dowdy kicks wide to Jacobs.
Adelaide's attitude will be interesting here, Chris Ho. Are they prepared to still move it quickly?
Oh, good mark taken by Smith, who's been impressive. Certainly not for the moment, they're not. Kicks, he prods it towards. Oh, gee, that was disappointing there. At the back of the pack by Wright. Now a chance, kicked forward by Van Berlo, wide and missing. So behind there to the Crows.
Really frustrated Tippett there. He was on his own. He must not have been seen by the skipper.
9 points the advantage.
Gee, it's opened up here.
Gee, that wasn't happening in the first half.
Goddard can kick it to Graham, which he does. They're on all behind their opponent, so the kicks have to be long into the forward line. Milne comes up to meet it. John Cock with him every step of the way. Dowdy is in the backup squad. Rutten just was able to see off the Milne tackle. Rutten just pushing aside Milne that time, but ever closer it got to the St Kilda goal. Time to steady and time to strike, but out on the full from Jack Stephen. It was a terrible result.
Shocking result. Stephen Milne's work was fantastic. 2 or 3 tackles to pressure the Crows into error, and Jack Stephen couldn't finish it off.
Long towards Jacobs. Brilliantly rowed by Schneider. Handball to Goddard, 65 from goal. Places it towards Graham, and also at the back of the pack is Cripps, who has marked 40 metres from goal directly in front. An opportunity to narrow the margin to 3 points.
It's the line, Max here.
And
well, Schneider and Milne have really got on their bike. Montagna also, and Del Santo. Their midfield players have really worked hard in the second half.
boy from Eastern Mantle, taking number 24 in last year's draft, has already kicked the goal with his first kick in AFL football, and he kicks his second. Saints to within 3.
Now it's back to 3 points. Cripps with his first 2 kicks in AFL football. Jamie Cripps, the boy from WA, from East Fremantle, 2 goals. 59 plays, 56, 3 points in it. And this Crows team, which had been so successful at winning the ball at the stoppages in the first half, have not had the answer to St Kilda, who have shown great resilience to fight back into this contest. And now they are the ones that look the goods. Goddard got it forward. They're on the back foot, though, the Crows, for the moment. Maybe Thompson can change that. Sends them to centre half forward. For how long, though? Baker has it under his command. Good tackling pressure provided by McKernan.
He's in the back.
Oh, it was a late call from a long way away. From
Seven, Baker.
There's a bit going on off the ball as well. Baker to take it. He was about to...
Yeah, he just won't kick forward, Steve Baker.
So makes the strategic retreat here and goes back to Gwilt.
Move it on.
Margin still 3. Chip back to Baker.
Right there, Chris.
There's so much at stake here. Possession is precious. They are literally not going anywhere. Now, Gwilt has had enough. Sides a different path on the way out.
Okay, right there.
Sides. Dempster is the man. And Armitage had to come from behind. Van Berlo. Sneaky stuff out the back. Thompson tries to show initiative. Gets it long to fall for. Just over Tippett's head. And not enough for Knights to be able to get hold of either. And they'll have to work the stoppage now.
Good pressure, though, by the Crows, keeping it in their forward half. Saints have kicked 6 of the last 8 goals and are within 3 points. Dawson over the top at the 4. Well done, Wright. Van Berlo back to Wright from 30. Wobbly old kick to the goal square. The only man there is Fisher.
How often do you see that? Sam Fisher reads the situation so well.
So there's the zone. You can see that the Crows have got set up. So he goes and gains 5 metres against the injured Henderson.
It's against Gilbert.
Free kick to Luke Thompson.
Just a reckless push in the back.
So Thompson in game number 3. Gee, he's been impressive, Rob.
Well, you heard Neil Craig. He's pretty excited about his young crop coming through. And as we said pre-game, half of the boys out there tonight have played less than 50 senior games.
Goddard in from the side. Chance for Graham. Little fumble. Tippett try to get it to Knights. Desperate stuff on the goal line. Jones was well tackled. Tippett emerged eventually, but not before the whistle had blown. A bounce 15 metres from Adelaide's goal. Plenty of time left. 21 points down at quarter time, 5 goals down at halftime. The Saints, they're hitting back. Goddard ducked ahead, play on the call. Jones slides in on Knights. Illegally, says the umpire.
No, you've got him high. Straight kick.
Crows fans stand to applaud. Let's have a look at this. Probably
Stephen,
just
right
there,
Steve.
but
Thank you.
Well,
Mark's here.
it's. I think it's a very fortunate free kick.
He lent on him.
He lent on him. You've got to be able, you know, in the context of the game, the closeness of it.
50.
oh no. I was just about to say, critical kick for Knights. Not an easy shot, only 30 metres, but a 45-degree angle, and now a gift. So Knights will kick a goal from the goal square and put the Crows 9 points in front.
Has Ross Lyon still got an ace in the pack to play? Nick Revolt remains on the bench. We don't know for sure the ruling at this stage as to whether he could come back, but we've reached the 10-minute mark of this final quarter. The Crows rest back that all-important 9-point advantage. Look at Dangerfield burst through. Nothing could stop him. Eventually it did, but not before he caused some more damage and havoc. They're deep into attack. Wright kept on coming. It's frantic, it's frenetic. And it's an Adelaide goal! Chris Knights! This was football, but not as we know it, Rob. They took it all away from the centre with no real possession apart from the goal.
Just Dangerfield's determination to keep the ball going his team's way. Irresistible force.
Knights has got 3. Riley wins it out of the centre again. A couple of important clearances. Walker knocks it on. And now Fisher stands in the way, intercepting the handball to Jones. Well done, Tambling, going back with the flight. Marks safely. Spreads it wide. Symes chips it to Dangerfield, who marks, sliding on his knees.
It just looks so much better when they're actually moving the ball, don't they?
Move it on, players. Play.
Certainly exciting out of the centre as Dangerfield kicks towards half forward. Oh, gee, ill-directed kick. Now taken by McAvoy, and the Saints try and work it out. And all of a sudden, Adelaide the one with all the energy and the intensity as he kicks wide, grips the target. At the fall, a chance for Symes. It's well done. He disguised that pretty well. The tackle came from Stephen. Boundary throw in on centre wing.
Back to you, Corey.
Yeah, as far as Nick Revolt's concerned, fellas, it still sits at the discretion of the St Kilda doctor. They haven't come and told the stewards that he's out with the concussion rule. If they do that, then he can't go back on. They haven't told them, but they are just sitting there waiting, I suspect, seeing if he gets any better.
you would think if he's going to come back on, he should be moving around instead of just sitting there as flat as he is.
Symes, they're on the retreat here, the Crows. That is a rainmaker from Thompson. Straight up, straight down. And Riley's judgment was supreme. Takes the mark, and the options start to open up through the middle. The spread is on. Van Berlo next off the line. Coming for the Crows is Jens. He winds up through the middle. The handball was on over the top. Accepted by Martin. Then to Tambling. Back to Jens. One more, and they'll be deep into attack. Knights couldn't get to his feet. Oh, Blake's in trouble. Oh, they're closing in. Dawson, surely another goal here for Adelaide. We're just about finished them. Gwilt's turn to run the gauntlet. Then Baker, and somehow they have survived. That survival instinct still intact, but only just. Thompson takes the mark, and still they're on the brink here, the Crows. Inboard to Dangerfield. And he is living up to his name in this crucial last quarter. Because what a weapon he is. What a versatile player he is, Wolsey.
Oh, I love him, Hutto. I love him. And that goal that he created when he bashed and crashed the ball forward, he didn't take clean possession, but he was just like a rampaging bull.
Patrick, 20 gone.
He took the ball forward 50 metres and just a force. He's had 11 contested possessions in this game.
Out of 15, but no more important than this one. His side already in front by 15. He makes wonderful contact. And he's a blossoming star.
Goal to Dangerfield, his first. Wonderful contact. It's been a star tonight, and there's his reaction. Crows by 21.
Got to get a clearance in Kilda. That's 6 clearances in a row to the Crows.
Kick towards half forward, almost the mark to Knights, who's kicked a couple of goals in this final quarter, but mopped up by Graham. Beautiful kick finds McQualter from centre wing. They move it on. Brilliantly read though by Yench.
Been good.
Paddles to his own advantage. He'll just be content to get it over. That was a wonderful interception. And the applause, in fact, the Adelaide crowd rise to applaud him for that wonderful piece of play, boundary throwing on centre wing.
18 disposals tonight for Yench. He uses the ball well. He's got good dash. All of a sudden, Neil Craig's comments from last week suddenly start to make sense. Quick kick, Montagna. They're not out of it yet, the Saints. Smith with a bouncing ball into the 50. And Milne, we've seen this so many times before, backs his pace, knows where the goals are. And the Saints are not out of it yet.
Well, they've got to get the clearance in Kilda. Goddard's gone forward.
Still plenty of time. Just 16 minutes have been played in this final term.
It's opened up a bit, hasn't it, in this quarter?
As it's tended to do over the course of the season. Symes and Scott Thompson can't gather. Well done, Douglas. Dragged off the ball, but he gets 30-40 metres towards half forward. Chance for Wright. Well, it does well to jam it on the boot very quickly. Coming to meet it, Walker. Apart from an amazing goal in the third quarter, has been very quiet. In fact, just 7 disposals. 1 goal, 2 for Taylor Walker. So Adelaide deep into attack, boundary throw in the pocket. Still plenty of time left. Tippett guides it down towards Knights, takes it himself. Somehow got his right boot to it, but only as far as Dawson, who marks in the back pocket.
Saints can't afford to slacken off here, not that they would, but just in their urgency, they know they have to move it and score goals. That's a great mark from Symes, out pointing Jones, using the extra centimetres, and they were lining up across the 50. This may be beyond Douglas, maybe. We have seen him kick some good long goals on the run. Can he, from a standing start, produce that same momentum? Would be an opportune time to once again increase that gap to something that might just be beyond St Kilda, with that clock counting down at 8:30. Douglas, oh, look at the kick. He's watching it gloriously sail through for another Adelaide goal.
Neil Craig issuing the instructions to Symes. There's the Crows to come, the matches for the Crows to come. Melbourne, the Suns, Collingwood, and then the Lions at home.
Well, there's 3 out of 4 you'd be confident with.
back straight away.
So Armitage, who was very good in the third quarter, seeing the Saints deep. Goddard at the back. Well done, Rutten. Now the numbers with the Crows at the fall. Luke Thompson. Scrappy old handball back to Doughty. Now he kicks it straight to Gilbert, who jams it on the boot back to the goal square. It's wide out on the full. No, it's touched off the boot, so a boundary throw in, so the Saints can keep the pressure up. Still plenty of time. They need 4 goals. Ross Lyon a little frustrated.
A little. Looks like he's doodling. He's trying to do something there.
Jacobs. Big pack around the football. McAvoy's got it, but tackled. No opportunity there, so another bounce.
He must be so frustrated with Wolsey with what they were not able to produce in the first quarter particularly.
Yeah. Look, his back line, half of his back line can't kick the ball. That's their problem.
McAvoy, quick snap out of the pack is offline.
One of their problems. Too many players in that St Kilda back line who don't hit targets by foot, and they haven't got the confidence to kick it, so they crab, they go sideways and backwards, and the opposition are just adept at wrapping them up now with the presses that they employ.
Yours.
High ball for Martin to climb up over the top.
Back. Your kick.
I thought that was
no realistic attempt. His kick.
Oh, gee, it's a bit harsh.
Turned out, I guess, that he missed it completely, but it appeared realistic.
Nathan, right there.
So Jones on the edge here. Yours. And that's no good either. Out on the full.
So a free kick to the Crows.
And we looked at that 4 games to come for the Crows. 3 are certainly winnable. And they win this one tonight. Well, they're back in it.
John Cock long towards half back, in front Fisher. Well done, Jacobs fisting away. I think if you looked at the draw at the start of the season, the Crows, in terms of who was going to finish towards the top and who was going to finish towards the bottom, had a favourable draw.
Did you have them in your 8, Chris O?
Yep. Jacobs. Now a chance for Del Sando. Schneider, can he finish this time?
Gee, he's had 3 bad misses tonight.
From about that similar opportunity, from about 30 or 40 metres with plenty of time, he'll be really disappointed with that. Margin 19 points.
John Cock, again, conservative route on the way out, as close to the boundary as he can manage, and eventually that target is reached. So it stands at 19 at the moment. Back to you, Corey.
Yeah, I've been on watch for the last few minutes, and he stood up at one stage. The crowd got a bit excited, but he went and sat closer to the doctor, and the doctor's body language was very much against him. So he's just sitting down, haunched, not looking a very happy man at the minute.
Some more yardage gained by Smith. As Corey said, he ejected. Nick Revolt watches on. And the Adelaide crowd will feel pretty comfortable at the moment.
Dominated the hit-outs, 50-30, the Crows.
Lead by 19, bit of pushing and shoving going on behind the pack. Armitage tried to come through and generate some ball movement. Maybe Crows could have orchestrated it out into the open. Thompson outnumbered. They've worked it out the back. St Kilda, Del Santo trying to get it forward. A little shove in the back. And it's going St Kilda's way to Clint Jones. Brings it back to Del Santo. It's back to Del Santo. Maybe he can send St Kilda forward in some sort of meaningful way, but it's hard to find a clean marking target right at the moment.
McKernan fists away. Chance at ground level for Yench. Rutten, and back it tracks to Smith. Or was it Luke Thompson? Good mark taken there by John Cock, who made good position. The Crows doing all the right things at the moment. Now he's going back and across. It's okay. Mark taken by Luke Thompson. Deep in the back pocket, but you can see there the St Kilda coverage. They've got the Crows pin, although he boldly plays on and does it superbly. He saw Henderson and was determined to get it to him. Henderson, that bad call.
Kick it.
And he hands it off to McKernan. His kick to Thompson just gave Gilbert a bit of a look at it, and he was able to fist it over the line. As we look at St Kilda's games to come, and a couple of tough ones ahead of them, Carlton and Hawthorn, Rob.
Absolutely. Carlton in good form. Hawthorn always hard. Then they've got the Dockers in a month's time.
Couple found the going difficult. Snyder surely this time. Yes, he's got it. Maybe they're still alive.
So a goal to Schneider, margin back to 13, and opened up very nicely for him, and a nice finish on this occasion. And we've played 25 minutes, but there's still over 5 minutes of game time to go, so
it's doable.
It's a long quarter. McAvoy, Del Santo, Armitage scrambles it wide. Now they come from all directions here. First to arrive will be Symes. He overran it and slipped over. Milne does well. He's outnumbered. Symes this time retrieves it. Doughty, Symes, Schneider, good tackle, coughs it up. Milne does very well. Now Cripps an opportunity, pulls it back across his body. Gilbert, little fumble. Well done by Luke Thompson. Off to Jacobs, and now they're away through Yench. Good chase though from Stephen. Now, well done Douglas, trapped the half volley very well. Around the body towards half volley. Graham in a good spot here. Good contest though. St Kilda do it pretty well through Graham, Dempster, and now Montagna, and Tambling comes to meet and does well, Richard Tambling.
Brilliant stuff.
He's got it at half-back, coming in for disposal number 21.
It wasn't a pretty disposal, but it ends up being okay. Van Berlo sets Knights away. One more will finish the job, and Tippett might just be the man for the moment. He takes the mark. And the Crows fans feeling a little more comfortable in their seats. Some out of their seats. This is a very difficult equation, though, for Kurt Tippett. He's going to be very close to the line. He's had an outstanding night. He had the kicking boot on early with 3 goals. He's kicked 3-3 is his total at the moment, but he's been a big target for them up forward. He's dragged down 7 marks. 9 times they've gone to him as the target inside forward 50. This can finish the job. Oh, and finish it in absolute style. The Crows are home.
Well, we saw the great Tippett goal, but this was the effort, the desperate effort by Richard Tambling. So pleased to see him do that. That stopped the Saints' forward thrust. It went back the other way. Tippett marked and goal, but Richard Tambling, you will have endeared yourself to the Crows supporters with that effort.
Thompson out of the centre, Crows into attack again, coming up to meet it. Well, Tippett, strength to his leg. Now, what's the umpire going to do here? Now, Douglas played on. Going to give him the benefit of the doubt, umpire Kennedy, and Tippett will kick from 60.
Good.
Common sense decision by the umpire.
Yep. I'm still in favour, Rob, of the umpires having the call about whether advantage should be paid.
I'm with you.
Get out! Cheat out!
He'll go close, the big one.
Well, he'll need to kick at 65. He just kicks it deep in towards the pocket. McKernan fisted away there by McAvoy. And we'll get a boundary throw in. Adelaide deep into attack, and they'll be happy with that equation. It will be a long quarter, though. It'll go well beyond 30 minutes. Is there another late charge here by the Saints? Douglas, good handball. Now,
He's down. Free kick.
against Baker, I suspect. And Douglas slow to get to his feet.
Hey, look, your body, yeah. Your body clipped in his head. You didn't see it? Yeah. Richard, are you right to take a kick? Richard.
A little bit groggy. Now, what's it again?
Right? That's your line marks here.
He got kneed in the back of the head.
In Baker's defence, I just wonder
Stay with
whether
me,
he lost
guys.
his
Stay
balance.
closer.
Anyway, Richard Douglas, wonderful year last year. Best and fairest for the Crows.
Sean.
Had a good night tonight again. Just missing to the near side.
Sean. Here, mate. Just go with that black markings. Don't go to
21 disposals for Douglas. A couple of goals.
20 points to diff now, with Gwilt with the footy at full-back.
Cloud. Yours.
Plenty of Saints to aim for. Fisher. Del Santo can glide away. Didn't make it easy at all for Clint Jones. Jens there to work it back to and over the boundary. Teams are very happy to produce boundaries throw-ins. We're seeing 5, 6 more per game than we did last year. And they can reset and try and sort their way through the various mazes that are being applied. Saints know they need a sense of urgency here. Unlikely they're going to be able to do much about it. Goddard with the setup for Snyder.
Good kick.
Finally kicked a goal before with the law of averages working in his favour, I guess, after 4 relatively easy shots. He'll be super disappointed with his return tonight in front of the sticks, but here's a chance to put one through. Kicked 3 straight last week and was very valuable for them, but unfortunately it's been all at sea tonight. That trend continues. In fact, that has dropped short.
Free kick.
Oh, it's against
Brendan,
Goddard.
2 hands, middle of the back. Back here, thanks, Brendan. Yeah, but you bring it back 5 when it's there to give him room to kick.
Not the greatest night for Brendan Goddard. He's had 21 disposals, but the rub of the green. Not a great kick coming in. A good mark taken by Blake. Off to Montagna from 46 metres off a step. Kicks it straight back to Jacobs.
Play on.
He marks in the back pocket. Cooley kicks to Symes. Front on challenge by Armitage. Free kick to Symes.
Time off. Time on, Jack. Jack, time on.
So Symes short to Thompson.
Fine there, Adam.
Scott Thompson. 26 disposals coming in for number 27. Keeps it close to the line, and it was just touched by Smith before going over. So a boundary thrown between wing and half forward for the Saints.
So this is a terrific win for Adelaide and for Neil Craig, who told everyone about how good this young list is going to be last week. Not everyone believed him, but some good evidence tonight. And it's a much contrary feeling, no doubt, for Ross Lyon and the Saints. And those comments he made after the loss to Essendon, where he said maybe the critics are right, maybe it is time for a transformation. Of course, he also said maybe it isn't, but maybe we're getting closer to that position of where they need to take some action. Armitage trying to take some action of his own with a low ball into the 50. No one really ready for it. The hands were amazing there. A little kick from Stephen didn't do justice to the work at ground level by McWalter. The Crows can bring it in quickly if they so choose, and that's the choice that's taken by John Cock. Decides to go by hand. The siren sounds on an outstanding victory to the Adelaide Crows. They've got home by 19 points. 13-12-90 to 9-17-71.
We're the pride of South Australia, and we're known as the Adelaide Crows. We're courageous, stronger, faster, and respected by our foes. Admiration of the nation, our determination shows. We're the pride of South Australia, we're the mighty Adelaide Crows.
Mighty they were tonight, Wolsey. They could have finished off St.Kilda, and the Saints would have to be proud of their resilience to some extent, but all the plaudits go to the Crows, and Kurt Tippett led the way in the first quarter, Corey.
Yeah, they were very good. They were very good in the first half. They got challenged in the third quarter by St Kilda.
Down to Corey, Wolsey.
And they responded really well, the Adelaide Crows. They're going to be a good side.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Kurt Tippett with me. 3 in the first quarter there. Things were firing. Went a bit pear-shaped in the third. What happened?
Yeah, look, we lost momentum in the game there. The contested ball sort of seemed to get out of hand back in St Kilda's favour, and they made us pay, dried up coming forward. So we had to bide our time. We always knew we had to be patient, so we were able to do that tonight.
What was Craigie's message at three-quarter time to get things back on track?
Oh, look, I think we lost the quarter down 14 in the contested ball, so we needed to rectify that, and it was great for the side to be able to do that. We haven't been able to do that. We lost a close game against Port Adelaide when we were up, so that'll give us a lot of confidence.
You kicked the sealer, what Hutto called the sealer. It was a beauty, that big check side from the pocket of the last quarter. Talk us through that. What was going through your mind? You've gone back and thought, I'll just banana this through.
Oh, look, there wasn't too much thought process going on. I knew I had to slow the play down a little bit. So I was always going back to have the set shot, and I've been practicing a little bit, so I'm glad that one went through.
The celebration was okay as well?
I don't know. I'm a bit embarrassed about that one.
Very good. The young guys were really good too. That'd be a real positive for the footy club.
Yeah, Matty Wright came in and played a very strong game for us up forward. And look, we've got some great talent coming through and there's more to come.
Just some more injuries, so hopefully Phil Davis is all right. Well, it looks not good for him, but the other two were a bit sore as well.
Yeah, look, we'll rest up. I'm not sure what happened to Phil, but yeah, look, we've got some young guys that'll come in and fill his spot if he's not able to play next week.
Dislocated shoulder, no good there. Thank you very much, Kurt Tippett. Have a good night.
Thanks very much.
All right, so he is a star at forward. Rob, you can have a little quick chat about him now. Not much of a chat. Great win.
We've spoken about their midfielders and their forwards, but I thought their backline, led by Johncock, Tambling and Rutten, were really solid all night.
So the Crows win by 19 at Amy.